What up, y'all? Whoops, how's that going? Oh, how's it going, guys? I'm just gonna run this until some people show up, hang out, smoke a bowl. Present. Share screen. There we go.
On whether animal agriculture or crop agriculture is more harmful. The whole premise of being
Skip through this.
Eva, that's what we wanted. The
All
stats
right.
I've heard is that
Check. You guys hear me?
Yep, I hear you good.
And we're live. So, the other day I was told that I was going to hell because I promote veganism, and it got me thinking I should probably at least host some sort of discussion or debate with some of my friends that I know feel strongly about this. And I had a bunch of people to pick, and I picked Nicholas and Jason because I've heard both of them have very strong opinions about the subject on both ends. So I don't know. I just kind of picked the premise: is Christianity against veganism? We could totally change that. I don't know if this is going to be over with in 10 minutes, or I don't know if we're going to do a series of 20 of these. So I just thought it would be interesting. And, whatever you guys want to do, I'm totally up for.
I've never done it. I've never done anything. Nice to meet you too, Jason.
So, are you a Christian that is vegan, or are you an atheist that's vegan? Because he didn't let me know what your viewpoint is, what your perspective is, just vaguely kind of thing. Are you a Christian?
I used to be.
Okay, so you're atheist at the moment?
No. I never stopped believing in who I was praying to.
Okay.
Who I thought I was praying to. And
Yeah.
that's just over time, it's become very interesting. I feel like my worship was misdirected in the beginning, and now it's focused on the entity that created my soul. That's who I refer to as God. Sure. And I do see that as a separate entity than the creator of the vessel that our soul temporarily indwells. I think that's a lower demiurge that has lower demiurge behaviors and immaturities and just demonstrable differences than love and free will.
Yeah. So it's kind of like your unique spiritual walk. It doesn't fit into any of Christian and Muslim.
Correct. There's no support system that's allowed in any legitimate ecclesiastical interface that's provided for people that follow the teachings of Pythagoras.
Sure.
But I'm following I didn't know this. I was slowly coming to it, but I'm following the occulted teachings of who I'm finding out was the original righteous teacher and around 500 BC. And that became an office that other Zadoks facilitated, like John the Baptist, James the Just. But sure. They weren't the original. It turns out it was Pythagoras. And that's what the religions are all hiding. And right after his death, there's no coincidence that we find that Ezra compiled the Old Testament, and the Buddhism emerged with the 7-year-old son of an emperor. They took all of those Pythagorean teachings and then did just enough of a twist on the rudder to turn them into something that was pro-government and pro-taxes and pro-money, which was the opposite of what Pythagoras taught.
Would if I'm taking more like Orthodox or traditional Christian perspective. That's my worldview. If I could probably like get my point across in maybe 5 minutes, and I'll just answer the was it is Christianity against veganism? I think the way it was worded was that way. Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard it presented that way. It was very interesting that somebody asked the question in
because
that
I think we can get this like way. I think I can get my point across very quickly using just the biblical passages, and then after we can just go from there. Since the question is Christianity against veganism? I'm the only Christian, so I'll just kind of defend that statement or make that claim, and I'll do it really fast, not to steal all the time. Is it okay, Jeff, if I present the screen?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, is Christian entire screen?
The game. However, their arguments focused on the necessity of law itself. They simply assumed that the market is incapable of defining and protecting property rights. They were wrong. In this essay, I argue that the elimination of the state will not lead to lawless chaos. Voluntary institutions will emerge to effectively and peacefully resolve the disputes arising in everyday life. Not only will market law be more efficient, it will also be more equitable than the government alternative. Just as right-wing hacks embrace the Orwellian notion that war is peace, left-wing egalitarians believe that slavery is freedom. The hawks wage endless war to end war, while the social
What's up,
democrats
Jeffrey?
engaged in massive theft, or taxation as they
Can you hear
call
me?
it, to eliminate.
I was just gonna run some videos until some people showed up. Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going, dude?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay, hold on.
Okay.
You can't hear me? You really can't hear me? Jack or Zion?
Can you hear me all
can
right?
you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, you still don't have audio.
Okay, weird. Let me see. Hold on a sec.
All right.
How odd. Reduce. How weird.
You're the pro here, man. What's going on?
I know. Oh, okay. Jack says he hears both of us. It's actually on your side. It's on your side. It's on your side. Oh, okay. Jack says he hears both of us. It's actually on your side. It's on your side.
Okay, I just opened up YouTube. I can hear you now.
The problem is you can't run YouTube at the same time as that you're on.
Okay, I just opened up YouTube. I can hear you now.
Because it feeds back. The problem is you can't run YouTube.
Yeah, I just caught on to that.
Look in the comments. Jack says you might have your external audio settings incorrect. If you just go into audio, Jack says you might have your external audio settings incorrect. If you just go into audio, Jack says you might have
Is that me echoing?
external audio settings. Yeah. Now it's gone.
Yeah, I had to turn off my micro. I'm still catching up. Just a sec.
You hear me? Nothing yet. Let me see. You have says can't unmute the guest because they choose to mute themselves. You're muted right now. But that's okay.
Still trying to figure this out. I have YouTube running so I can hear you.
That's okay. John Bob, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Chilling. I think
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
is that's still Braxton, huh? There you go. So what's up, John?
Not
What are
a
you up
whole
to?
hell of a lot. Just chilling.
Yeah, so what's your deal, man?
Not a whole hell of a lot. I'm a raw vegan. I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota, huh? My people are from Minnesota.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Where-
my lineage goes through that goes through the Twin Cities area.
Oh, right on. Okay.
I went to a family reunion there once, and it was like 4,000 people. It was pretty wild.
4,000 people? That's huge.
Yeah, it was very huge. I was shocked.
That's crazy. I thought my family was kind of a big family in our area. We don't have nothing like that.
Yeah, we have there were like three last names in the family, and it was shocking. It was very shocking. But we're like Irish, Scottish.
I was gonna guess.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the Irish, they settled in the Minneapolis area, and then most of the Germans, they settled in the central Minnesota area. So generally, you can tell who or what somebody is by where they come from. Weird.
Yeah. You good, Braxton?
Yeah, I think I just got it figured out.
Oh, cool.
I thought it was you. My bad.
Yeah, I was like, I've done this a couple times usually, but yeah. So I was just a lot of you guys that I talk to on Facebook. You know, I try and do as much live streaming as possible, and I've hit a bunch of I've hit you guys all up from here to time, and it sounds like you know, you guys are some of like the best spoken people that I know, but you guys don't go live much. And so I'm just kind of I'm gonna start going live more often and very casually going live, just so you know y'all could come hang out and get used to being on camera and all that stuff. Because StreamYard, this platform, is very unique and underrated for you know the stuff you can do here. I could get 20 people in here if I wanted. It's just like I mean, it's like Facebook, but we're all actually hanging out. You know, like I didn't even know what you looked like, Braxton. Like, you know, like I don't even know if I walked down you past you on the street. But yeah, so yeah, so I'm usually making a lot more content than I have been recently, but I'm gonna start doing things again. But tonight was just kind of you know, see if we could pile a bunch of people in here and just kind of hang out.
Yeah, it's testing the waters.
Yeah. But yeah, so Wisconsin, huh, John?
Me?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
No, Minnesota, man.
Minnesota, that's right. They're right
Central
next to each
Minnesota.
other.
Well,
I could hear it in your voice now. The Minnesota.
funny. Nice to meet you, Braxton. I'm John.
Oh, nice to meet you, John. I think I've seen you in some of the Facebook comments.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm always on there. I live on there practically.
Yeah. Okay, it's pretty hectic in there sometimes.
It's crazy.
My page
But
gets nuts.
Well, I really like it because I really feel like our community is really growing and people are like literally asking questions. Like there's shit we would have said 5 years ago, we would have been laughed out of the room. And now people are like, you know, they have no argument against it because they know we're right, you know? So it's kind of cool. You know.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
actually been kind of. Oh, go ahead.
like most of the people that aren't listening, it's just funny to watch their arguments just get worse and worse and worse, like over time. And then it's shocking because a lot of these people are liberty people and freedom truthers and stuff like that. And the more they talk, the more they sound the complete opposite. But that's a whole other, that topic is always going to be touchy.
I don't
You know
think
what I
it's a
mean?
whole different topic. I think it's the exact same topic. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, how the fuck are you going to claim that you believe in freedom and that you respect the nap while at the same time advocating for organized violence and slavery for every fucking animal on the planet other than humans?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it goes directly against the nap. So, I mean, I've always said, at least for like last 3 or 4 years, I've been saying, how the fuck are you gonna claim you're an anarchist when you support fucking violating the nap?
That's a
Well,
good point.
and the subsidy argument should shut down any libertarian, like I haven't been vegan my whole life. I've been 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
When I wasn't vegan, I had a goat and some chickens, and good fucking God, was it expensive keeping those animals alive. And you really realize, like, oh, raising animals for food is really economically psychotic unless you have the state paying for 3/4 of it. Then it works. And you kind of start to see, like, oh, this is just a tradition that was kind of gone awry. That really is not in line with anything libertarian, or if you're anti-government or anything like that. Like, and even like back in the day, it was like all the leaders, like all the kings and stuff, they ate meat and they were all fat and gluttonous, and it's like now, because of the government, we're all allowed to overindulge in this stuff.
It's funny.
But yeah.
Yeah, as
Brax,
far
are
as
you vegan?
what's up?
Are you vegan?
Yeah, I've been vegan for
Okay.
I think like 8 years now.
Oh shit. Dope.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
I struggled there for a couple of years because I had really bad health issues coming into this, and I went raw vegan, and it helped control my symptoms, but I never cleaned out the cause of the problems. And when you eat meat, you're putting all sorts of parasites, worms, bad shit inside of you, fucking. And so I started disintegrating because when you have that shit in you and you stop feeding them meat, then they got to get their shit
They eat
somewhere. They
you.
start eating you.
Yeah.
Fucking, and I think that's why a lot of people fail at being vegan, because the meat they ate fucking put parasites and worms and fucking all sorts of bad stuff inside them. Most people don't even realize that shit's there. Took me 120 days of fasting, and fucking I had every 3 days I was getting rid of a 2-footer. It was
Did you have to
insane.
do a sugar fast? Did you have to get off sugar for a couple months?
Well, I haven't done sugar in years. I'm actually a recovering drug addict. So I kick cane sugar, I kick nicotine, I kick caffeine, all right around the same time. That was probably 7 or 8, maybe 9 years ago already.
Yeah.
So fucking. But I'm sure that stuff would feed them. And I was consuming tons of sugar. I still consume tons of sugar, but it's fruit sugar, which fruit sugar actually it doesn't need insulin to pass the cell wall barrier. It's your most ideal food source, so your body doesn't even screen for it. It just lets it through. The gates are always open, so to speak.
Yeah, well, we
So.
have glycogen receptors in our mouth. There's no fat or protein receptors in our mouth. It's glycogen. It's for sugar. It's for, it's for fruit to immediately, like, once, like, me and my girlfriend, we're endurance cyclists. We go and ride our bikes for 130 miles. And so once you do that a lot, you get very in tune with how your body works and what actually works. And we eat unlimited carbs, unlimited sugar, because you have to, or else you just don't have energy. Sugar is human fuel, whether it's and I know processed sugar is not quite as good for you as fruit sugar, but that's what we run off of. That's why, you know, there's so many reasons why I get so riled up about the keto stuff, especially with people within the movement. Is just because it's just all wrong.
Yeah, I think I've even heard that there's some statistic or some study that I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's something like the brain weighs about like 3 pounds, something like that, and like 20% of the weight or something like that has to be just pure glucose just for the brain to even be able to run properly.
Well, that's what all the keto people, the immediate weight they lose is muscle glycogen, and that's fuel. Like that's muscle fuel. So you're getting more lean, you're losing a little bit of weight, but that's weight you want to have on you. That's not fat. There's been studies. There's been several studies where they're watching ketos now, and they're like, these people aren't losing any fat. They're actually getting fatter. It's just they're losing muscle glycogen, which does fill, which is a lot of weight on your body because it's all the energy that's in your muscles that's waiting for you to be used. And like as an endurance cyclist, like we tap out our muscle glycogen every time we go riding, and like I have to eat 1,000 calories per hour of like sugar water basically, in order to stay, to keep doing these long races we do and stuff. Like, but I've
Per
bonked
hour?
per hour, 1,000 calories.
Jesus, I thought it was more like 4,500 a day, and that's a lot.
100 grams of carbs.
Oh, okay.
1,000 carbs.
That's a lot of calories of sugar.
Yeah, no. Oh, we'll burn 4,000 or 5,000 calories in a race sometimes. It's wild.
Okay. That I believe. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
I actually helped my buddy go pro. Like he didn't believe me for fucking years. He was that guy that was fighting me every step of the way. One day fucking I had him over, and he was grabbing something from me, and fucking I called him out on it. And he pretty much said, fucking no, you're wrong, And I looked right at him. I said, motherfucker, you keep telling me I'm wrong, but you haven't fucking. I pretty much put his balls on the chopping block and said, you haven't been man enough to prove me wrong yet. I said, fucking do it for 2 weeks and fucking prove me wrong. Otherwise, you're just claiming I'm wrong with no fucking evidence. And he said, I tell you what, I'll even do a fucking month. What's your most ideal diet you're talking about? Because I said there's different levels of veganism, there's you can eat whole food, plant-based. You could eat fucking beer and Oreos as vegan. That ain't healthy, You said, well, what's the most healthy form? I said, honestly, a mono fruit diet. He said, what's the healthiest fruit? And I said, that's up for debate, but I'd say grapes are up there. He fucking went solid grapes the first 2 weeks. He actually became a professional racer this year, got his pro card and everything at 37. This guy's 20 years past his fucking what?
Cyclist? Road cyclist?
Oh, yeah.
Bikes? Oh,
yeah.
shit. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. Old guys in cycling, old guys dominate. It's like it's the combined, it's 20, 30 years of riding in your muscles that really, like we go out riding with some old, like see these old guys that are just beasts. So 37's like to go pro at 37 is pretty gnarly though. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him, but I mean, it took some work. We had to get his diet tuned in, and fucking, he has a hard time because he knows eating the way I eat, a raw vegan, is fucking the right way to do it. But he says, like in order to cycle, I have to consume more calories than I can fucking raw, John, So fucking, I think he does what you do is gets those extra carbs.
Yeah, you can't ride without pouring stuff in a bottle and drinking it nonstop. Like it's pretty just because of the amount of energy and the amount of calories being burned. If you're not constantly eating and drinking, you do what we call bonking, which you hit a wall and you just can't go anymore. And it was crazy. I started riding the last couple of years, so I got to watch myself suck, and then fight through it luckily my girl, she's like 10 years deep on, the cycling program, basically high carb vegan, high carb, high sugar, low fat, low protein. And I'm in absolute control of my body weight, like I never have in my life these days. Like if I want to add weight, I just eat a little bit more protein and fat. And if I want to lose weight, I just eat less. Like I've never been so consistent, because I was vegan in the 90s and I was super unhealthy. The most unhealthiest I've ever been was when I was vegan in the 90s.
What were you
drives
doing?
me
Soy?
crazy. Nothing but nothing but soy. Literally, I
That's
would
what I
buy
hear from
cases
everybody.
of vanilla soy milk and drink 3 bottles throughout the day. In the 90s, there weren't restaurants everywhere with vegan food. And so I was 18. I had like hemorrhoids. I had periodontal disease. I was just falling apart way too young, from just, and in my mind, I was just like, I'm not eating McDonald's, therefore I'm healthy, and like when you're 20, when you're 19, 20, you don't know shit about shit. Luckily, I was raised McDougal from my mom. So I had a good basis. But I did I was vegan until I ended up in Hollywood, and I did the whole crazy Hollywood rock star thing. And I did paleo. I did, I started eating meat again, ate like shit for years. And then I cleaned up and started, I did the whole paleo, nothing but meat thing for a while. And I got kind of buff, but I had no cardio, couldn't walk down stairs without, almost passing out. And I always had like vegan guilt from selling out veganism after it being such a part of my life for so many years. So once I finally went back, it was a whole different experience. Being an adult, doing a certain time that, it's just a lot easier to be a healthy vegan now. So it's been interesting doing it the right way. And then becoming an athlete and actually like going and doing races and beating people half my age, kind of off the couch, because I wasn't riding a few years ago. And within the first year, I went out and did a 130-mile race and finished in the middle of the pack, basically. And like being 45 and not having that be a sport I've done, it was pretty interesting. And it's like I couldn't have done it without knowing the high carb stuff and the sugar stuff. Like there's no endurance cyclists that are keto. Like if keto did what the keto people say it does, every athlete would be keto, and no athletes are keto because they know, they know. So
I gotta ask something though. This keto stuff. Has anybody tried the plant-based keto? Because I know that's a possibility. I don't know if and I do know that keto, you can manipulate your body and get some results.
maybe I should do that.
It's a thing. I mean, I don't know enough about it to know, but I'm not going to just hate on keto, because I have seen people get great results. But
I'm talking about meat keto, not like
like carnivore.
I'm not talking about vegan ketos. I haven't met a vegan keto yet.
I am too, but the thing is, they're getting short-term gains with the meat-based keto, because what they're doing, they're cutting out all the fucking processed foods and shit. Then they lose weight. As they lose weight, their symptoms subside, and they're like, "Yeah, I love meat." No, it's not the fucking meat. Anybody can manipulate their diet in 100 different ways.
If you cut out a necessary nutrient from your diet, you're going to lose weight, but it's not going to be in a healthy way. That's why I physically challenge almost all these guys I debate. I'm like, let's go do something. You're half my age. Let's go run. Let's go do something. And they're like, oh, but even Mark Sisson, the paleo diet guy, he admits in his book, he's like, you're not going to have cardio on this diet. But it's just funny, these guys that deny that, and it's like the guy that, the carnivore doctor literally says you're not going to have any cardio with this diet. And it's just like, you really want to like lead that kind of a life where you have no cardio and you're just sedentary. And then it's like, it takes, you have to breathe to burn fat, like Like that's the only way. Like breathing, fat disappears from your body from breathing a lot. And if you're not breathing a lot, you're not burning fat. So yeah, it's funny. The ketos and the carnivores are really, that's the low hanging fruit. Like those people are a lot of fun to mess with.
And they don't realize how much propaganda is involved in all of that from like the USDA and like you were saying, subsidies. It's a really heavily subsidized and marketed and promoted sort of food group.
Yet all these guys are saying that the government is forcing veganism down their throats.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they're supporting government subsidized programs and fucking living off fucking, the rest of us.
Oh, we got someone who will take my challenge. Donnie, come up. I put the link in there. Where do you live?
Diet challenge?
The kid Joey, I don't know if you ever watched Joey, the debate I did with the Carnivore Camaraderie. He's a big YouTuber. 19-year-old kid, like 50,000 followers that are like twice his age, following him for diet advice. And the kid, but when I did the debate with him, he was he only ate milk, eggs, and raw meat. And the kid had got scurvy right after I did the debate with him. But I was like, he challenged me to a MMA fight in our debate, but then backed out afterwards because he lives in LA and I live in LA. So I was like, oh, finally someone here. Let's do this. And he's all like, yeah, let's do it. And then he backed out. And I'm like, what's wrong, dude? And it's like, but he's like a 19-year-old kid. I'd whip his ass at anything.
Fucking kids.
Fucking kids. Yeah. He caught the algorithm right. He got like 20,000 followers in like a month making stupid keto videos. That just shows you YouTube pushes that shit anyway. Like they don't push vegan videos. Like it's crazy.
No.
Oh, did you guys watch that?
Sorry,
Did you guys watch that video, the Ed video about Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, I got that today.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. What was it?
It's just those two. They just say dumb shit and they claim to be smart. They're just anti-scientific rhetoric, yet they claim to be scientists. Like, pretty crazy.
Elon Musk taking credit for things that he didn't come up with and propagating it everywhere.
No, he invented everything. He invented electric cars, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was there when Tesla first started. Dude, that threw me off when I first found, like when Elon Musk first started coming out with pushing Tesla more. I'd heard of like the Tesla Roadster or whatever from like way back, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I haven't heard the name Tesla in a long time, and I was convinced for a while, like, yeah, that's Elon Musk is the guy who started it all, and come to find out he just, like Bill Gates, steals all of his ideas and just runs with it.
Yeah, well, I used to I used to be in a band that got really big, and I took the money and left the band, and I started a green car company. I'm a mechanic, but it was I was converting diesels to run on vegetable oil, and I was putting like diesel engines and hot rods and like kind of like cool car culture stuff. But any diesel can run off of basically any oil. So we have all this excess waste vegetable oil from restaurants and stuff, and you can filter it and run it in old diesels. So I had a shop that was doing that during the whole green thing, like 10, 15 years ago. And I got on like CNN and Discovery Channel and shit. Why'd I bring this up? Fuck.
We were talking about Tesla.
Okay,
yeah, we were talking about cars and shit.
So I got invited to a green car festival, right? And they had the first Tesla there. It was a Lotus Elise or a Lotus Esprit. No, a Lotus Elise, a little Lotus, and it had an electric motor in it. And it did like a 10-second quarter mile or something. I was like, super cool. And I went and I met, what are the guys' name? Eberheimer. And I met the dudes that built the car. It's called a Tesla. It was really popular. They had a video of it smoking a Ferrari on a drag strip that went viral way back in the day. And so it was really cool. And I went and looked over the whole car because I'm like a car dork. So I went and, checked out the car. and hung out with these guys. And guess what? There was no Elon Musk in sight.
I don't know. I think. Sorry.
This was before he had anything to do with it. They were already doing that. Plus, the idea of electric car it's not that interesting. It's not, Henry Ford was making electric cars, the original Model Ts, like it's not that innovative or interesting to put an electric motor in a car. And the reason why they don't isn't completely because of big oil, but they're just horrendously inefficient. When you have a battery, your fuel source is that heavy all the time. It's very inefficient. With a gas car, the fuel tank is getting lighter as you go. So that helps a lot with the efficiency of the miles per gallon and shit. But if you're dragging around a 2-ton battery all the time, you lose a massive. So there's just a lot of reasons why electric cars never really did very well.
Well, I disagree with you there.
It's dumb science.
Well, I mean, your concept is right. It's entirely spot on. But what about the original electric car that didn't require a battery? Fucking Tesla provided fucking free electricity on the spot. They just killed his idea. So, I mean, electric cars would be a great idea, but the battery is incredibly inefficient, and then you got that, who's that fucking guy? I can't say his name. I have no idea. He's an African guy out of Africa. He created a fucking car that runs off radio waves, which when the Big Bang happened, he's harnessing radio waves. The Big Bang flooded the universe with radio waves. It's an inexhaustible source of power. There's no moving parts. It's just absorbing the radio waves around in order to run the car. He also created a little helicopter. They've tried killing him 3 times already. He's the Tesla of our generation.
Are you into have you gone down the whole Tartarian rabbit hole yet?
A little bit. I've looked into it. I mean, there's a premise there. I don't know though. I mean, we weren't there, but I'm not opposed to it.
For sure. My after researching Tartaria for 4 years, I've dismissed it as something I'm going to research anymore. But that got me hooked on really what am I talking about? Researching just everything, old maps, old books, and like and along with a lot of other people online, there are a bunch of, Tartarian dudes that now, focus on just researching, all the old buildings and what things used to look like. And that's been one of the most interesting things that I've come across in a long time. But the whole, the Antiquitech on the red bricks, and the Antiquitech pulling electricity out of the ether and storing it in the red bricks that are iron phosphate batteries, basically. That shit is so fucking cool. Like that fucking, I love that stuff. And that's all, like, even Tesla, like a lot of these guys, maybe Tesla was one of these made up inheritors too, just to be someone in the story. And they're all, they're hiding even bigger stuff than what just Tesla supposedly represents. So it's all the Tartarian old world research has been like super fun. But it all ties in with the free energy, and that's how they fuck us. Like if we all had access to the free energy,
they couldn't control us.
We wouldn't have to pay for everything, and we would be living, we'd have prosperity, real prosperity. But that's where these resets, the whole Tartarian thing, there's been resets where the powers that be have reset us back 200 years so they could reintroduce the technology that they've been hiding to us back to us again and charge us for it. It's been pretty fun researching that stuff. But yeah, the free energy shit is, and I don't know if you guys know Judy Wood is.
No.
Judy Wood. Oh shit, I gotta send you the link to she knows what happened to 9/11, basically. She's like the only one who's figured it out. But directed energy weapons, radio waves, like just stuff that we don't know, technology we don't know we've had that the powers that be know. and they blew up a fucking building in front of everyone. No one knew what they were looking at, so we didn't know what we were looking at. If we knew the technology, we would have been like, oh, they used fucking directed energy radio waves on that fucking building, but we didn't know that. And so we just accepted it back then that, oh, a plane hit it and exploded, it vaporized, like the building disappeared. It didn't
At free fall velocity too.
It vanished. It was vaporized. All the mineral content of it was attacked with energy, and it vaporized the whole freaking place. But we didn't know what we were looking at. And you like watch the old footage of like the newscasters that are down there trying to explain what's happening, and they're like, why is there a whole block with cars flipped upside down? And they're melted. They're like roasted cars. They're not like on fire. They just been heated up. And like we just accepted, oh, shit falls off the building and flips cars over, I guess. But the cars were like a mile from world, like there was. Now looking back after watching Judy Wood's lectures, you watch all the old footage and you're all, oh my fucking God, like they fucking completely lied to us. And they used, directed energy weapons, whether they're radio signals or and like no one knows there was a hurricane off of New York during 9/11 that came from across the Atlantic, stopped. They never warned us about it. It stopped. 9/11 happened, and then it went back to where it came from and disappeared. Like there's so many weird things where it's like, okay, that had something to do with it. They use some sort of technology to harness some sort of, and we already know they control the weather. So it's like, whatever they're controlling the weather with, they can do other things with. So
It's insane.
Yeah.
I stopped looking into this shit a couple years ago because it just fucking pisses me off. Every time I look into one of these conspiracy theories about the fucking government, I realize they're more corrupt than I thought. And they're the most corrupt pieces of shit on the planet in my mind already, like just what the fuck, man? Like there's truth to almost everything they say about these pricks.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned I don't believe anything. I'm an eternal agnostic now. And anyone who says that they know for a fact about any certain thing, they're completely fucking full of shit. Like we have faith that all this stuff is true. And the more I learn about the people that control the information is like, oh, okay, so they're liars. They're the biggest psychos and liars that we've ever experienced, as humans. So why would we? Oh shit! Someone was just backstage and I missed them. Come back, whoever that was. Yeah. So they're the biggest liars. So why would we believe them about anything? Whether it's did we go to the moon or is the freaking world flat or whatever? I don't believe any of these things, but I tend to now lean away from the mainstream version of what we are and what we're doing here and why we're here and why the conditions are the way they are. They could be a lot better, man.
Yeah, and we're all still constantly learning too. Like there's more information being unsurfaced every day. People are digging back into, history books on how the country was founded, how law came to be. Like we're still like infants compared to, where we've been in the past as society.
Can you guys give me a minute? I gotta let my puppy out. She's been begging the entire time. Come on. Let's go, sweetie. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm glad we finally got you up here, man.
Yeah. I am not like a natural camera kind of person. So it's like pulling teeth to get me to like do phone calls or anything really.
It's taken years and years and years to be able to just turn on the computer and like plan something like this and just do it, whether it's just hanging out or like some sort of presentation. It's a lot. Like I've been like, a co-host on a podcast. I've done probably 1,000 interviews just about whatever things I've been involved with, activism, stuff like that over the years.
Yeah.
And it's still hard to do, so, but once you get up here and do it, it's much easier,
Yeah, like get into the groove of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a tough kind of occupation to do because it's not how I was when I first got on here. I'm like, man, okay, settings. I got a camera on me right now. Like,
Well, you've never used this app before, so that was pretty good to
Yeah.
figure it out that quick. The StreamYard's really awesome. Like, it's a very cool tool, and should be taken advantage of to do amazing shit with, because it's like there's such a better connection.
mhm.
You know, like I don't know. Like, I've been talking to Facebook people for a decade, and I don't know any of these people, and like, I don't know if they're all bots. I don't know if I'm in an echo chamber. I don't know, if they're feds.
You're
Not that
suspicious
I
of
can
me at
really
first.
tell by doing an interview with someone, but like, it's just the connection you have when you actually like can see someone and talk to them. And then like, like we're talking about all the vegan versus carnivore bullshit. Like, once I, like 9 out of 10 times I do a debate with someone who's a carnist, 9 out of 10 times they're chill and like reasonable.
Mhm.
Once they're in front of me, completely different on Facebook. So it's like we can actually have the conversations when we're face to face, and not that it's always going to be calm, because I've been in crazy videos like I've done with people that get really mad and like, but the StreamYard and just like hanging out, talking about a subject for a couple hours, like this is like the future. This is how these are how we're going to do memes. And, like this is this is the kind of stuff we're going to be using from now on to teach each other the shit that they don't teach us in school. It probably won't be on YouTube. It probably won't be on YouTube. We're going to have to get some sort of decentralized thing going, which is going to be soon. But this group live stream is really cool. So
I've got some ideas that like it's going to be really hard to actually flesh out fully. But have you ever heard of the program, The Brain? I might have kind of told you about that before.
The what?
It's called The Brain, or like Web Brain.
Yeah.
That program is crazy. All the stuff you can do with it, like you could set up.
Is it AI?
No, well, now like the latest version they just put out, I guess they like incorporated some AI stuff that you can do to like help with like organizing notes and stuff like that. But overall, it's pretty much for like doing like mind mapping. So you have like a point. It's kind of like a conspiracy theory map where you're like connecting the dots and everything. But yeah, you can actually use it to like take really effective notes. You can like add full-on websites and like videos. What's that?
What's the interface? It's an app?
Yeah, it's you can get it on your phone and you can get it on the computer, and there's also like a public thing where you can actually share it and other people can check it out. They can contribute to.
So it's like a software program?
Yeah, let me show you something real quick.
Okay.
I think this one here. This, I don't know if you want to share screen. It's from Richard Grove with like Tragedy and Hope, Autonomy and all that. He's
yeah, I think so. Go, I guess. Like, wait, present.
It's crazy because you can map out so much stuff with this program.
Do you know how to pull up a screen on this? It should say present down below.
Yeah. Did you want me to share it on there?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay, let me do something real quick. Pressure trying to figure out how to navigate.
Dude, we're in no hurry. We're hanging out, smoking a blunt.
All right. Let's see.
You're a smoker and you still a biker, huh?
I smoke. Yeah, we smoke. I can't ride without smoking weed. Holy shit. I mean, a lot of the writing I do is very, I don't want to say miserable. Some of it is miserable, but it's like you go dark, like you get grumpy at around 60 miles because that's when your muscle glycogen taps out and it starts making you a little panicky, and so you get grumpy and like you get really dark. And like sometimes like, yeah, weed definitely helps with that kind of thing. But yeah, I can't say that it, I mean, it's weed. I don't smoke cigarettes, you know.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm still on
So what are
nicotine
we looking at
addict,
here?
vaping. So this is that brain program.
Yeah.
Okay, so Richard Grove's work, like he has a lot of stuff that I still have to dig into, but he covers a lot of stuff from like World War I, World War II, 9/11, like pretty much anything. Like this is all done by
Ooh.
a lot of
Okay.
CIA type stuff, assassinations, all.
Wait, so is this like his? Is this like his entire content of like conspiracy theories,
Yeah, because he
kind of like on display?
yeah, because he was like a whistleblower. With like he like almost died if he would have been any closer to the World Trade Center or something like that. What he was doing for his line of work, and so he got out and yeah, he became a whistleblower and he started doing like really deep research. And this is like pretty much all the stuff that he covers, like all these different connections that he makes. It's really wild. Like if you name something, like any kind of
So
like
I could like go to this website and I could like do one of these for myself.
yeah, easily too.
Oh, is it blockchain based?
I don't think so. I think it's just a pretty standard program, but I mean it's got all kinds of like notes, different options.
It's like a spreadsheet for your brain, for like what you know.
Yeah, because like so it's kind of basic on here. Most
Do you
of
have
what
to
they
feed?
do,
Do you have to like feed it, or does it like look through your Facebook or something? Like, is it? What is it?
so trying to think. I might be able to show you sometime soon, like how the program works. But you just open it up and you can add files into it, like from your computer. So it makes like a folder structure.
Yeah.
And like all this stuff, it can come from like a central thought. These are like the parent thoughts. So where something,
Wow.
yeah, that's where
Okay.
it comes from. So it all kind of like
Yeah.
trains, or like Edward Bernays.
Interesting. So it's your rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can show how like Edward Bernays is connected to like propaganda that we're dealing with like modern marketing in the U.S. and like all kinds, how it contributed to the war efforts during World War II and all that stuff.
Wow.
Like there's a lot.
So it's like your own personal Wikipedia / rabbit hole that someone can come and look at.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd have to show you an
That's
example. 'Cause, I
amazing.
mean, you can do like YouTube. You can like all these little parts down here.
Really?
This is actually really limited because it's the public version.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could
So you
share
would like
stuff with Mega.
you would be like working on it for a while, like to build it up. Like
Yeah,
over time.
but
you
it's really
continue.
like as fast as you can piece together ideas.
No, like that's like it's good.
Yeah.
That it takes time. Yeah, because you're
Yeah, you can
getting
get
really
detailed.
thorough. Yeah. Wow, this is cool. What's it called?
The brain.
The brain.
Yeah, I put a link to it on in the chat.
Okay. Oh, in the private chat.
Yeah, it costs like there's a free version you can get, but I bought the actual paid version that comes with a license. It costs like $120. I just dropped the money on it a while back when I had like COVID money.
Yeah.
Figured might as well. Yeah, I've been getting deeper into some of the topics I've been wanting to, really research. So I'm hoping it can help too.
That's really cool. No, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'd have to show you some of my examples, some of the stuff that I've been trying to, like, it's really ambitious what I'm hoping to do with it, as far as like helping myself to learn, maybe helping others to learn as I go through contributing,
As a contributor, are you involved with them? With you like work with them, or are you just talking about it as a contributor?
Oh, I just mean like what do you mean? As far as like
you just found this website and you're trying to like self-promote it.
No, well, so like I like the idea of being able to collaborate with other people, like kind of making a like open source kind of deal. So I don't have anything that I've like personally done. I don't have any sort of, I'm not getting any sort of sponsorship from them. I just think it's a really awesome program.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a
cool.
lot you can do.
Yeah, no, it sounds really, really interesting to me. I definitely want to check it out after this because
Yeah,
I've
it does
been.
look pretty cool.
What's up, Jeremy?
Hey guys,
Here, I'll pop
How you
out
doing?
there.
I I actually just woke up not too long ago. I'm in my typical midwinter pattern of like a 26-hour sleep cycle,
Oh wow,
wrecking my life.
where do you live?
Well, you know, I normally live and work in South Korea, but
Oh, that's right.
I've been back in the U.S. I'm in California right now, in my hometown, and I hate this short daylight. I've got to figure out how to arrange my life to spend half of it in the southern hemisphere because I'm getting
Yeah.
sick of it. Every year around October, I see it coming, and then once it gets into like later November,
You're like, it's 3 o'clock and it's dark already. Jesus Christ! Like,
and I really do. My brain, when it doesn't have that daylight to guide me, and I'm not out like hiking every day and doing outdoor stuff in the sun.
Yeah.
It just goes on to a 26-hour sleep schedule. I just keep sleeping later and later until I'm sleeping entirely in the daylight, and then that's the cycle all the way through.
Yeah. So me and Allie were out. We took we're organizing a bike race out in Good Springs, Nevada, and we drove out there with the RV and just like being out in the desert for like weeks on end. And we went gold prospecting in Riverside County. And so we were in the rig out in the desert for like 3 weeks. And I was like, you know, prospecting, like digging giant holes in the ground, moving rocks all day, you know, like, so I was falling asleep at like 6 o'clock. And then we get back to LA and I'm still like falling asleep at 6 o'clock and waking up at like 4 a.m., like wide awake, like ready to get going. And like, it's just like, I can't. And then with all this, the like riding bikes and stuff, you just like, you definitely need sleep, but like you wake up and you're like really like ready to go. But yeah, I've been having to like wean myself off, like stay up later, but it's so hard sometimes. I'm just like, I'll be just like, I'm passing out sitting here like, and it's 7 o'clock. Like it's crazy. Like I'm getting old, I guess. My girlfriend
It's
rags on
wild,
me.
and then-
She's just like, you falling asleep already? And I'm like, ugh, an old man.
Definitely. And then the
Yeah.
vitamin D supplements, you know,
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah, you
take,
gotta-
but then
Yeah.
they mess with you after you take them. Like
No
an hour
way,
or two
do
after
they?
you take them. Well, with me, for like sleep wise, energy wise, you know, they're
Oh, you
important
get like
for the
you get
overall
hyper?
health.
It's like drinking coffee or something.
Maybe I should get a smaller dosage. No, it's usually like a food coma, which I haven't. I haven't.
So it makes you
I haven't
tired.
once experienced from food since going vegan. Right. As long as there's fiber in the food, I don't get food comas. But sometimes taking the vitamin D, it gives me that sort of feeling, that sort of sluggishness out of nowhere.
You
Like,
take
yeah,
supplements, huh?
I'm in.
What do you all
I'm in.
What's that?
What do you all take?
Oh, what
I take-
supplements total? Just
Yeah.
B12, D, and sometimes omega 3s, but I usually don't because I eat a ton of chia seeds and hemp seeds.
Okay.
I just a vegan multi and creatine, and if there's a race coming, beta alanine, and like a lot of. I like vitamin C a lot, you know, but not, you know, everyone needs vitamin C. But yeah, not much. I eat real whole food, so like I don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
eat
surprised.
entirely whole foods at all. I eat a lot of like vegan meat and cheese substitutes, but I'm a home chef, so I've got tons of ingredients in my cooking. And I stop the vitamin D as soon as I'm out in the sunlight a lot, you know.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I do.
I didn't know
I
it.
walk everywhere, you know. I
I didn't know it
walk.
had side
A
effects like that.
walker, not a cyclist.
Yeah.
I don't like going fast, so I'm a pedestrian.
And there's been some like debate coming up too about like if vitamin D supplements are even effective. That's been throwing me off. I'm like, what? You guys are like, you know, these are the only vitamins we need to take, really. So it's seeing that kind of stuff become controversial.
it's always changing. I mean, we didn't even know, back in the day when vegetarians were like not, like not very healthy, is because we didn't know about B12. And so, or there were certain things. I think it was D and B12. We didn't know. And so, vegetarians, where there was a kind of weird period in time, I think it was the 70s or something, where they were doing a lot of studies and not getting very good readings back from vegetarians. And then they figured out, oh, they need to supplement B12. You need to get a little bit more of this B12. No one even knew about B12 yet. And then it was like all the numbers went up because it was like D and B12. And
Yeah,
science is always changing. So we're gonna learn that we probably need more, or just humans in general need more of certain things. The B12 thing isn't even a vegan thing. It's all human.
Yeah, that's
thing.
right.
Like
many human populations of
Yeah.
meat eaters were B12 deficient and are today.
Yeah.
Because the soil where their animals are grazing doesn't have enough cobalt, presumably. And
who knows what it
many,
is?
Many animals are injected with B12.
Yeah. And who knows what it is? That's why I take this agnostic position where I don't fight to the death about many things. As far as like that stuff goes, because science is always going to change. They're always going to say, oh, it's going to be something else we need to do or something, but like, I don't know, just like eating whole food diet and staying healthy and just making sure you're eating enough seems to be, more important than like what supplements you're taking. And obviously getting out, like in California and being a cyclist, I'm always in the sun. So I didn't know that there was D side effects from D that make you sleepy. So if like you're like in, I can't imagine like people living in Alaska, like where it's like dark for like a month straight. It's probably tough being awake, like you're saying, you're just like, you get into this like 20-hour sleep schedule.
Well, I think that's just proof
gotta-
that we're invasive.
I got to figure out how to do. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was saying that because he was talking about the 20 hours of dark. I was saying that I think that's just proof we're invasive. Like we're not designed to not have sunlight. We're supposed to be in a tropical environment getting light, not in a cold environment where we need clothes or we'll freeze to death in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Why do we sunburn then?
Why do we sunburn?
Well, are we still invasive though? We're supposed to have dark skin too.
Well,
also,
I could explain
childbirth
sunburn,
shouldn't be as
maybe.
painful. Childbirth shouldn't be as painful. If we had different kind of like buoyancy out here, childbirth wouldn't be as bad. Like there's kind of there are a lot of weird things that you could point at to say that we aren't supposed to be here, that we're invasive to this area. It's pretty interesting food for thought, that's for sure.
Childbirth, the reason people have so much problems with childbirth is because we have a really common birth defect caused by cane sugar. It stops for proper bone formation in both your jawline. That's the reason you have to have your wisdom teeth cut out. And it also causes your pelvic region to have improper bone mass development. So it's pretty much the same fucking problem, just in two different regions.
Where'd you hear about that?
I read an article on it fucking probably 10, 15 years ago, and it just made perfect sense. I haven't argued it since.
Sugar has been scapegoated for a lot of things over the decades. I was very anti-sugar. I was raised very anti-sugar. I know I had hypoglycemic problems growing up because my mom was so anti-sugar. When I first started dating Allie, my partner, she's high carb vegan, unlimited carbs, like drinks sugar water. And I was like, bitch, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, and I was like, you're crazy. And I was just blown away by how she eats, but she doesn't eat oil. Yeah, zero oil, very low protein, no oil, no like very low fat, high carb, but then I go riding with her and she's like a beast. Like she is a very, very good athlete. So I'm like, okay, well, if she's you know, like I think her diet's crazy, but she's destroying me on rides like 10 times over. Like I cannot keep up with this girl in the least bit. So obviously what she's doing at least is working as far as human potential stamina, you know, terms.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and like,
maybe what's good in the short term for an endurance athlete is very different from what promotes longevity.
well, maybe,
you know, there's
but,
a pretty prominent theory. You know, that has some support. I'm not gonna say anywhere near consensus, but that caloric consumption has something significant to do with longevity. That aging is partly tracked by not by number of days, but by number of calories burned. In some aspects of aging.
yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of people think that, or I think
The
there's a lot of
caloric
probably
restriction
groups,
people, you know.
a lot of groups that believe that, but I am like, again,
But you're doing
I'm
all
the
right.
agnostic. I don't
know.
believe
You're
anything.
you're
But
consuming a lot of
what's
calories
working
and
with
burning a lot of
me,
calories.
what's working for me, and like ever so the day I started doing high carb vegan. So up to that point, I had done maybe 150 videos on YouTube over 12 years, right?
Yeah.
And so this next year I do 200 videos after, like immediately starting with like high carb, vegan, unlimited calorie, including sugar, almost as much sugar as I can eat. Like my what's it called? Not inhibitions, but my procrastination, this looming procrastination that I've always had has just vanished. And I mean, I'm sure it has to do also with just being more active in general and exercising. But I'm seeing, you know, my girlfriend, who's a 10-year product of this. She's 34, but she looks 20, and she's like one of those Olympic athlete girls you see in the Olympics that are 19 that are pole vaulting and shit. You know, like she's stacked. And she's vegan, you know, and has been for 10 years and has been doing this diet for 10 years. And it's like, it's done nothing but help any like, and like, I used to fluctuate even as a vegan. I'd always be fluctuating in weight. That's just gone. Like little weird things, little like my, you know, ingrown toenails went away, you know, like weird things like that. And then just I'm now my stamina and just like my endurance capability, like I want to go do a like a marathon off the couch, because I'm not a runner, but I think I could probably finish it, you know, without even training, because of the cardio I have from cycling and because of the diet. But it's been pretty cool. But yeah, like I mean, I've done like 500 videos now, 300 in the last 3 years, without even like trying, where before I struggled so hard with procrastination. It's just so much easier. I just don't feel and just basic fatigue. Like I used to always feel fatigued all the time. And I don't know, I was just talking about falling asleep, but it's like I get a lot done and I do a lot of things, and then like I'm tired and I fall right asleep and I wake up and I'm wide awake. Like there's no this. I remember back in the day, you know, like there was this groggy, like, oh, waking up was really hard in the morning and I'd be tired for like an hour, you know, or I'd be like tired early in the day, want to go home from work really quick. Jason, you should come in here. Yeah, so high carb vegan diet's been pretty dope so far.
This comment, yeah.
And then creatine is so important for vegans. It's not even funny, especially for keeping muscle weight, just like day to day. Every vegan should be taking creatine. It's the safest, most tested supplement and most effective supplement on the market. It's dirt cheap. I have to like limit myself on it, because I as like a cyclist, you don't want to be heavy. You want power to weight. You want to be as light and strong as possible. So like I as a cyclist, I'm not really into being super buff. But creatine is pretty rad. For like I have to limit myself, because I will get pretty big, you know, with creatine, with however much I intake. Like I could get like pretty buff if I really try in a very short amount of time, but I'm not like, I don't want to, I want like, kind of, I want to be lean and run light.
I had a quick question about that.
Yeah.
What brand do you use for that? Because I used to use this one. It was like some kind of creatine.
Yeah, it almost doesn't matter because it's been standardized and it's regulated and it's all basically the same shit. It's not, it's like sugar. It's like, it's just like something that you don't really have to worry about. I'm sure Jason John Schwartz is probably will have something to add. I think he's a doctor or something.
My handwriting's too good and my personality's too good.
But
no, I just wanted to give a little comment about the sunburns, just anecdotal what I experienced. I think a lot of us are burning. A lot of us white guys are burning because of the high omega-6 that like pretty much everybody in modern times gets. Most of the packaged foods, and stuff like that, will have like the canola and soybean and everything. And, when I stopped like the seed oils and stuff like that, and I was going after cod liver in a can just to kind of like up the omega-3. It took like maybe about a year, and I really noticed, like, I was like, man, like I'm not burning at all, and I was just like staying out, in the sun normally and stuff like that, kind of get red, and it would just kind of like have like a farmer tan. It was like, kind of like just like dark, the way like our great grandparents had, like working in the field. So I really think that, obviously omega-6 is essential and omega-3 too, but the modern day ratios of omega-6, it's in everything. And it's just too much. Some of the studies show that if the ratio gets out of hand, they're saying that it's like 20-1. So 20 omega-6 to omega-3. The body can tolerate 4-1, like 4 times, but the majority of people, and like if you start looking like even just brown bread, everything is like canola, soybean, and it's over and over again. So that's just like what I just wanted to pipe in.
Yeah, oil's super gross. Doesn't that get revised in like the 90s? Wasn't that the problem why like vegetarians and certain people were like super deficient because the ratios were off, and then they realized that we needed to bring in more omega-6s or something? Is that what it was?
To my knowledge, is like omega-6 is sneaking in everywhere, and the
ratio's off.
Yeah, and it becomes almost like a competitive antagonist where even the omega-3 that you are consuming, when your ratio's like started like 20-1, it's not like it's floating around there, but it's not even having access and stuff like that. And that's why
there's
white guys burning like lobsters. I really feel strongly about that.
Do you just get melanin deficient or something, or what is it like?
Right.
No, it's because like the omega-3 and the omega-6, they're essential because they're used for all sorts of stuff, and most of the fat that is not like used as energy, that fat under the skin, that adipose tissue that everybody has, it gets built up with the omega-3 or the omega-6, whatever you're building it, and it has a super long half-life. It's like, I think like a year or something. So omega-6, if there's too much, it's prone to oxidation and it's pro-inflammatory. So we're overdosing on it, and we have this oxidizing, easy inflammatory omega-6, and we're burning like lobsters. And then they're like, like you have to put sunscreen. So now we're putting sunscreen with parabens and all of, it's just like I was scratching my head at one point. I was like, why are white people not adapted to live on Earth? If we didn't have all of these things, we'd just like roast. And if you look at our ancestors, the white people, they had very, very dark skin and stuff like that. And the science
does the 6 like shed off with our skin?
I mean, it's used for all sorts of things, and it's essential I don't know, like shedding off and stuff like that. I
Like
just
you're
know
saying,
that,
too much of it builds up on our skin, and
yeah.
that causes us to
Well,
burn.
no,
And so,
everywhere.
like, how do you flush that? Like, or is there no way? You just have to
Yeah,
change
so
the
it's
ratio.
change the ratio. Okay.
Yeah.
And once the ratios change, maintain that, because it's going to take a while. It's not going to disappear, very quickly. And then over
Yeah.
time, and it's not just a question of the skin. So they had LDL that inside the LDL, if it has omega-6, it is prone to oxidation and stuff like that. And if it has omega-3, is very resilient. And you can just go down all our little transporters and all our little enzymes, and the
Helps
omega-6
everything.
is really affecting it. And it they're not going to talk about that. And that's the thing with the, these nutritional studies. Like, there are studies out there. It doesn't mean that they're going to use it and it's going to be on our social media or anything like that. It's there. I've posted a lot on the omega-6 as a precursor for a driver, literally a driver. It's called the oxidized alpha linoleic acid hypothesis for heart disease and stuff like that. So I would just, keep in mind and just research it. It's there.
Interesting. Super interesting. Yeah.
I got to get
So
going.
here's the question.
I just
Oh.
I just happened to like go on, and you guys were talking about sunburns, and I was like, I have something.
Interesting.
So I'll be listening, but I can't. I have to do some stuff. All right,
Thanks, man.
guys. No problem, man.
Later, buddy. Have a good day.
Catch you later.
You too.
Take care, man.
Bye.
I just wanted to say about, as a chef and kind of aware of the vegan ingredients that I'm using. I don't know about all of the health impacts, even among those that are known about fatty acid ratio, but I basically know a bit about their concentration in various ingredients. And the thing is that while there are some ingredients that have a somewhat good ratio toward the omega-3, there are others that have a huge ratio of omega-6 to omega-3.
Yeah.
Not only seed oils, right? So walnuts have what people think of as the good balance. So walnuts are a little bit good for fatty acid ratio,
Yeah.
but almonds are extremely terrible.
Oh shit.
So
Everyone's eating almonds
that
right
sort of
now.
thing where it's not
Yeah.
it's not like you can just go supplement this thing. It's like if that's really having a big impact, there's
So
just
we have
these
to
certain
influence these
ingredients with
companies that
terrible
make these
ratio.
products. We need to get them away from almonds. I've had
I
walnut
feel
milk.
like you
Just
guys
had
are.
it.
And
Walnut milk's good.
walnut milk is good, especially when it's blended. Like I drink kind of like soy walnut, pine nut blend in Korea.
Ooh, holy
that you
crap.
can buy in the store. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Probably got like a 2% of pine nut or less because it's expensive, obviously.
Yeah.
I cook with pine nuts too. But
There's some crazy
smashing
like
the chia seeds and the hemp seeds. That's a real good
there's a
thing.
bunch of like I feel like there's
Flax
a bunch
seeds.
of weird deep stuff around pine seeds are supposed to be like the food of the gods or something. There's like a bunch of cult stuff about pine seeds. It's supposed to be really pine nuts and pine seeds are supposed to be like super healthy.
But you guys, I just gotta acknowledge that I'm having a 7.2% IPA for breakfast. So
a little estrogen there.
Why myself down so I can get a little bit of night sleep in too and be up in the daylight. But I'm not a health nut. I'm a very active person. I like recreational sports, and I'm kind of like I'm into backpacking and campcraft and
cool.
hiking up mountains and stuff. But I just do it because that's what I like. I don't do it because I'm consciously trying to maximize my longevity or I have particular strong health ideology or anything like that. So I might be kind of out of pace with some of the conversation.
Yep. Like you're saying about the whole calories thing, could be the same shit. Like we only have so many heartbeats left, and it's like ticking down.
Have you guys heard the interviews with Trump? With Donald Trump where he describes his battery theory.
No.
Like he actually, like, the thing with him like riding the golf cart and stuff and basically getting zero exercise in his life, like he actually has convinced himself that exercise is bad because our longevity is basically like a battery.
Yeah.
He wants to conserve his energy and thinks that
What
it'll
a
keep him
dipshit.
living longer.
That's hilarious.
I'll put mileage on your vehicle.
He definitely outbeat Bush Jr. for like goofiest fucking like retarded one-liners.
Completely off the wall stuff I've never heard any president say. Like, that's, I didn't really pay attention before he came in. He got nuts.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly a bright guy, was he? I saw one interview where he was literally sitting with a cop, and they brought up civil asset forfeiture, and he's like, "Is that a good idea?" And then he takes the cop's word for it when he says, "Yeah, it's a good idea."
Yeah.
Of course, the motherfucker's getting paid for it. Oh, sweet, okay. Like,
You back?
Yeah. Did you want me to pop up the omega-6
Sure,
study
man.
for you?
Go ahead. No, that's really interesting. I believe it too. And it was funny, like I was talking about when I first started dating my partner, I went to the store and bought all this shit, and I was like gonna come over and cook for her, and I bought like olive oil and like all this stuff, and she was just like, what? Like, I started cooking and she just like pushed me out of the kitchen. She was like, nah, dude, I'm not going to eat that. And like, I was like, what do you mean you don't eat oil? Like, I was so baffled that she didn't eat oil. And now it's like 3 years in not eating oil. Like, oil is completely pointless. Like, doesn't do anything to the flavor of the food. It just helps in cooking. Like, it's not like we've just like kind of gotten used to it. And it's just this gross
You're
thing
right.
that doesn't need to be in any food. But it,
You
yeah,
can
it aids
saute
in
vegetables
cooking.
in water, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's retarded.
Yeah.
Like she makes me chips that are just like baked chips, and they're amazing. Like, you don't need oil, and it's so bad for you. Like he's saying, there's who knows what it's actually doing.
you gotta
And
go
obviously building up in us, and not in a good way.
Oh, and you can water fry a lot of stuff too.
I have the study. I can share it, and you guys can like try and look at it. I'm not gonna like read it, but I'll pop it up at least, and you guys can go see it.
Thanks, man.
I'm sharing it already. Are you able to pop it up?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah, you have to go down to present.
Is it there? Do you see it?
No. Oh, you know what? Oh no, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys individually can go like omega-6 vegetable oils as a driver of coronary heart disease, the oxidized linoleic acid hypothesis. So, and it's not a long thing. It's kind of more like just the abstract, but it goes right through, and it starts explaining when it started to be introduced and stuff like that. Because like Canada, where I live, canola oil. I mean, Canada exports the canola oil to China, and China just uses like this on everything. So it's a big money maker, and call it. I'm a bit paranoid, but I don't think they care about our health. If it's a slow killer like cigarettes or something like that, they'll keep it in because it's a big money maker. But it says like the intake of omega.
Hospitals make a lot of money,
Yeah, I know.
And the guys that own the hospitals own everything else too. So they set it up. So they just funnel people in, funnel people, late aged people into the system where they just bleed the rest of their money from them. Like it's a crazy cannibalistic system.
Yeah, we gotta avoid the system, man. Fuck that.
In Canada, I'm sure it's worse than here.
Where?
You guys are farther into it. Canada? We're definitely heading towards socialized medicine, but you guys.
I don't even. Well, like we've always had like free health and stuff like that. But everything else is like corrupt too. Like, geez, I don't even recognize Canada. I used to be like a proud Canadian, but yeah. Anyways, So like go check out that study. It's pretty.
Thanks a lot, dude. That's
and
really interesting.
it's like it makes good logical sense. Like the hypothesis, you're like, yeah, that's pretty plausible. That makes a lot of sense. Let me know, Jeffrey. Next time we hook up or something, what you think. I'm going.
Yeah, I will for sure. And I want to do another thing with you. You know, I want to keep that the Christian veganism dialogue thing going. That's really fascinating to me. If you want to keep going,
you're
convinced
vegan too, huh?
Hey,
you're convinced Jesus was vegan too, huh?
No,
Jason's not a vegan. He's actually. Aren't you keto sometimes?
I use keto to lose weight. It's the only way my fat ass can lose weight and stuff. But I'm like a omnivore and stuff like that. But
John Bob, usually me and Jason are arguing with each other.
Yeah.
We're trying not to do it anymore, though.
Yeah. No, exactly. We know our difference of that. Like
we can still teach each other stuff.
Yeah,
not have to argue about veganism.
That's why I was like, I can connect with him on this because I think everyone can agree. But
yeah, no, that's really interesting information.
Yeah, like we have like 36 chickens in our backyard, and I'm poor this time. In the past, we had bought like a whole cow, but my plan as an omnivore to be as ethical as possible is I already got the chickens, and I'm planning on killing a pig, slaughtering one pig and slaughtering one cow that's local. And I'm considering that 2 deaths, and it's going to feed my family for a long time. So as an omnivore, that's my way of minimizing death. And so, that's kind of my way of being ethical. I'm trying to do more regenerative. I'm trying to make sure that the animals have, in a way, a good and pampered life, and while they're here, and that we all have to die somehow. So let it be quick and painless as much as possible. That's pretty much what I've done. I tried veganism for 1.5 years. I didn't have ill effects. I just tried it and then I stopped doing it. It wasn't really for either. I don't think it really wasn't for ethical or for the animals or something like that. It was just trying various kind of diets and stuff like that. But
thanks for
vegan movies.
Pardon?
Have you seen any of the vegan movies? Like, do you know the basis for the argument or not really?
Yeah, like Game Changers, and I'm pretty aware of the vegan community, but I don't want to really get into it. Like you guys are having a really good discussion, stuff like that, and Jeffrey knows what I think. I've looked through some of the nutrients, and in my opinion, I'm concerned long term about deficiencies. When I checked about there's something called BCO1 genes, and you guys eat beta carotene that's converted to retinol.
Sure.
So it's like it's a precursor or provitamin. There's some people that can convert 65% of the beta carotene to retinol, but there's some that are just, whether it's just genetically because of a BCO1 gene mutation, or their guts getting sick, or aging, or health reasons, things can vary. And but if you really have the BCO1 gene, if let's say technically we do a thought experience and we would all go plant-based, and there wouldn't be any retinol, we would have to test. In my opinion, just my kind of like imagining this thought, you would have to probably test the public for BCO1 genes, because you don't want some poor person not able to convert it, because what happens, it'll cause keratinosis, or keratinaemia, which is like just a buildup of the carotene. You hear people, if you eat too many carrots, you can have like that orange kind of thing, but with this,
what does that mean?
It gives like a, it gives like
I've seen it. I've
an
seen it.
orange, right? So
I've seen
anyways,
it.
all that to say is
I've
like,
seen pictures of it. Yeah.
is that like the B12, in my opinion, I'm saying in my opinion, I'm concerned that it's not just the B12. I'm concerned about the omega 3 and 6 that we had talked about, how like even like just the omega 6 is a problem for everybody. The chia seeds and stuff like that, they are plant omega 3s, but if you do look into it, they do convert very poorly. So if you're already eating a lot of the middle section, and you're eating brown bread, you're eating the wrap, you're eating some crispers and stuff like that, look at the side. You're really increasing the omega 6, and those chia seeds, go see the conversion. They're not, it's not that great. So if meat eaters or omnivores are getting screwed over with their omega 6s, and a vegan's not watching out and using a source that is a plant one that is still not as available and needs to be changed to DHA and EPA. So these are just things for me in my head that are concerns, so that if I'm not just some guy that's like, I want to just kill animals and stuff like that. I don't. I really do have some concerns about long term if this was pushed on people. And I might be completely wrong. Like I said, Jeffrey even said agnostic. You know what? These freaking studies are very confusing. Nutritional studies are observational studies. It's epidemiologies, links, risks, associations. You rarely hear causes and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm not going to hijack your stream.
Well, thanks, Jason. I appreciate you taking the steps of towards doing less harm. That's cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But thanks
All
for
right.
coming by.
All right, I'm leaving for real this time.
See you later, Jason. Hey, check out Elizabeth Blackburn's study, okay, bud? Have a good day.
Okay, thanks, sir.
You'll love it. I'm telling you, it's cool. You guys see Elizabeth Blackburn's study or no?
No, what's that?
Fucking, she proved that on a whole food, plant-based vegan diet, in 90 days, over 500 genes fucking repair themselves and change.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, and it also showed that like it lengthened telomeres, which actually the longer your telomeres, the longer your lifeline. Like, just amazing fucking research. But we already kind of knew this, But I do understand like his concerns too, because there are nutrient deficiencies. But we always blame the nutrient deficiencies on the vegan diet, not realizing we have fucking worms from eating meat that are fucking devouring us from the inside, and that we're becoming deficient and weak, So sometimes it's important to fast. Like I was getting, I was struggling, I went on a 120-day fast. Now I'm up 20 pounds. I haven't been this big in 10 years, and it was all muscle. It just went on overnight.
Yeah, I did. I had pretty good success fasting. I did it for several years, up to 20 hours a day.
Nice.
But I couldn't do it now. I mean, I couldn't ride bikes like I do or could.
You know what, guys? The other thing that Jeff, his name's Jeff, right? That was just on.
Jason.
Also Jeff. Jason. Okay. Too many J's. Braxton is alone.
Lone bee.
So the other thing is he very briefly pointed to genetic screening and for something that's incredibly relevant to diet and diet that impacts ethics. And I just wanted to say that I'm completely ethically in support of genetic screening. It should be widespread for as many things as we know about. There's nothing wrong with nothing really fundamentally wrong with screening.
Talk about like screening
things.
people for
not just extremely degenerative, painful disorders like cystic fibrosis or whatever, but for genes that are gonna impact nutrient deficiencies and various other things. We might want some kind of a hesitation and some trial period to get some midterm studies before we conclude that there aren't going to be huge negative side effects. But the idea that you're a eugenic supporting Nazi if you believe in improving the raw material of humanity that we expose to all of our dietary and environmental interventions, it just doesn't have any solid ethical support. Just speaking from the perspective of ethical philosophy.
Yeah, well, Jason's obviously very biased. He
Oh, Jerome is here. Hey, man.
Yeah,
Nice. I got my team.
He should get up here. I just sent him the link. Jason's very anti-vegan, so he's going to bias hard on the few things that he believes he
preventing
knows
people
on.
from converting beta carotene to retinol and
Yeah.
get rid of that shitty gene like nature would have if we were living like chimpanzees. I'm sure chimpanzees don't have a problem converting beta carotene to retinol.
No, the only reason people have these problems is because they were eating chemically reacted corpses that damaged their fucking DNA in the first place. Remove the chemical reactions. And don't get me wrong, I will say this, for an omnivorous diet, it is more nutritionally complete than a fucking cooked food vegan diet, because the fats inside of the dead animals protect the nutrients during the cooking process, and you ain't got all those fats inside of your fucking plants. So when you're cooking plants, you destroy virtually all the nutrients, which just proves that we're supposed to not have ovens in nature and we're supposed to eat a raw diet, But I'm not saying that we're supposed to fucking, if you're going to eat cooked food, eat dead animals. I'm saying cut back on the fucking cooked food. And if you're going to cook your food, put half of the fucking fresh produce that you're going to cook off to the side, and then put it in your meal afterwards. So you're getting the living enzymes, you're getting the vitamins, you're getting the nutrients, and you're getting the taste of the cooked shit you're addicted to, Like, there are ways to circumvent this stuff and not deprive your body of nutrients or vitamins.
My girlfriend always gives me a handful of the fresh veggies. When she's cooking them, she always gives me a handful of fresh first. She's like, "Here's some broccoli, like some fresh stuff." But do you, John? Do you know Durian Rider?
I don't think so.
Oh boy, he's Australian, big was raw food back in the day, but he's like a very big vegan YouTuber, but he's Australian, and he has a ex-girlfriend, what's her name? Oh, if Allie was here, she'd be able to tell me, who's also a huge vegan YouTuber. They're pretty funny, but they're you'd probably be amused by his channel. He's Durian Rider.
Durian Rider.
Is it that one that bananas only diet?
What's her name? Natasha?
Bananas, yeah. No, Natasha's his girlfriend now. His ex is named, oh God, what's her name?
Okay, so we are talking about the same guy, though. I got it right.
Who?
When I brought up Natasha, I am talking about. Okay, so I do know who you're talking about.
Natasha, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
sweet.
He's a funny dude, but he's very, very well versed in all this stuff. I've learned a lot from him. He's funny though. He's a very major troll at the same time too.
They swear by the sugar too. They both swear by lots of sugar.
As
lots
do I.
Dude, I'm not gonna hate. I mean, but at the same time, I do consider that a drug. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure I could improve my fucking my athleticism with some meth for the day. Because I'm well fed. I have tons of nutrients, a lot of good stuff to burn. Damaging. But short term, I would kick some fucking ass. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Cane sugar is not that far off from fruit sugar. It's all the same.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, it's just we've been trained since birth to vilify sugar, and You know, I do people, you know, like I had the reaction to my partner, you know, that I understand people have the same reaction when I tell them how much sugar I eat, or can or have eaten. I understand that it's really hard to hear, because everything, you know, is just like sugars, like you said, sugar's a drug, you know, sugar's the devil, sugar's the reason why everyone's fat, you know, it's all this, but it's not. It's definitely a lot of disinformation. It can be, and if you aren't an active person, it very much can cause you to have health problems if you're just eating the standard American diet and just eating everything, for sure. But I've had great success with it, and I don't. And I've seen lots of people have some great success with it, and I just, you know, and like I was saying, I'm agnostic except for things that I'm like experiencing, and like this is something I'm experiencing, and I used to be, you know, I grew up like not a sugar eater, like completely, like was trained since birth not to eat sugar, and did suffer problems from it growing up. That I know, like hypoglycemic problems and stuff like that. Like all these ketos, they don't eat sugar, but they're all hypoglycemic. Like, and you can die from that. Like, it's really bad. Your body needs sugar. Your thyroid needs sugar, or I mean glucose. Sorry, I won't say sugar. It's just the sugar. The word sugar. It's like like everyone freaks out when you say glucose. It's completely fine. Or fuel. It's funny. But you know, like there, you can't, you know, if endurance is like, for me, a measure of health is endurance. So like to me, it's a pretty healthy diet because I'm able to endure quite a bit, and I've been able to push my body, you know, 5 times farther than I ever thought I'd be able to. But you know, like it's the same argument like you could use against it, like for weightlifting. People be like, oh, well, I need to be buff, you know, and it's like, well, do you really? Like, do you need to be able to ride 150 miles? Do you need to be able to lift, you know, 650 pounds? Like, it's like, you know, who knows? You know,
you
like
should
we're
probably,
saying,
I
who
mean,
knows? Maybe we only have so many heartbeats left, you know, like who knows? But I have seen so many positive things from it. That
Jeffrey,
I can't really
you should
deny
probably
it.
be able to. You should probably, just as a general human, be able to run away from a mugger, right? A couple of miles.
Yeah,
well, when it's called for. Like there's a case to be made that no, you don't need to say that some diet lives or falls based upon whether somebody can be a ultra distance cyclist.
Yeah,
or
it was an interesting conversation I had with that Joey Carnivore kid, the YouTuber kid that I had the debate with, because he always talks about, oh, back in the day we don't need endurance because back in the day we had slow moving fauna that we ate, you know, like mastodons and shit like that. And like he says this in all his videos. And then once I finally got face to face with him, I was like, Joey, how fast do you think those megafauna move? And he was all like, what do you mean? And I'm all, according to history, they run up to 38 miles an hour. So if you're a hunter gatherer and you're attacking megafauna all the time, wouldn't you need to chase them down? And you know, like it's
38 miles an hour.
Yeah,
I'm pretty certain that the limiting factor was not the limiting factor in natural selection. There was not a ability to outpace hunted animals. Hunted, not yeah.
Oh,
it was.
I know.
It was just
internal.
It was intraspecies combat. So yeah, did you need to outrun somebody from the fellow tribe who spotted you in their territory and was
exactly.
you?
Well,
you did. Yes, you did.
I was just trying to bust him on a point that he used a lot.
Getting back to your people before the other tribe killed you was pretty important.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But he was just he like so many of his arguments are based off this slow moving megafauna, and I'm like, dude, these megafauna weren't slow. I don't know where you're getting your information from. But I don't know. What were we talking about before? What were we talking about before Jason came? Oh, I think that's right. all the vegan, the sugar
Oh,
stuff. Yeah, the
skin.
sugar stuff's hard. What's that?
Skin.
Skin.
And nobody ever
Oh, that's
brought
right.
up fucking beta carotenoids. Like, the shit you get from carrots and other like leafy greens
Yeah.
and stuff, the beta carotenoid.
Yeah.
Like, that shit affects your tanning too. And vitamin A is huge. Like, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I think he was onto something with the omega-3s and the omega-6s.
Yeah,
But
that's interesting stuff for sure.
since I've gone
But
raw
again,
vegan,
the beta the omega-3 argument is very much in favor of his anti-vegan stance, though. Not that I don't believe that that's true, because I think Ali's explained that whole beta the ratio thing to me before, as it sounds legit, but it's definitely like a anti-vegan kind of
Talking point,
statement.
Yeah, it's a
to
talking
make. But
point. The seed oils thing is an anti-vegan strategy.
yeah, for sure. Because
Convince people-
everyone
convince people
lives
that-
off Beyond Burger. Every vegan lives off Beyond Burgers,
Yeah.
and there's seed
Convince
oil in
people
Beyond
that
Burger.
raw salmon and raw tuna have some benefits over seed oils, and then once somebody accepts that argument, then they're back to eating hamburgers.
what about nori, guys? You want those omega-3s? Eat some fucking nori.
Yeah.
Some algae, some dulse.
Seaweed,
You got some sea vegetables, and
Irish
you
sea
got
moss.
that shit.
Ooh, that stuff's good.
Love it. Love it.
expensive,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I naturally eat quite a bit in Korea of various different sea vegetables. But then I
there's a
also
lot more to offer
I also
there,
take
probably.
an algal omega-3 supplement. That's the fastest way, because there aren't all that many even in animal products, there aren't all that many products that have like a really high 3-to-6 ratio. So and there are many that have a high 6-to-3 ratio. So just taking the supplement is better. I was gonna say, especially since Jerome is on here, I'll say it. I don't eat bivalves, but ethically, I'm completely on the side that bivalves are not sentient.
The clams,
what is a bivalve?
and stuff.
Outside
Clams and mussels,
clams and oysters, but in terms of that ratio, it's kind of like the nuts. There's some bivalves that have a lot of omega-3s. I think oysters are good, and then I think scallops are really bad. A lot of omega-6 and not much omega-3. So they vary considerably too in that same way. That
They're still insects, isn't it weird?
I've heard that. I've heard that before, but I don't. I wouldn't. Not really.
You just gotta get parasites.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's got a lot of health risks, and just in terms of gut biome, and this is really complex. You really know so little about it, but I feel
rotting animals
really
in your stomach isn't good
with
for your
fiber
gut.
and everything I eat, and
yeah.
And even if oysters aren't sentient, even though oysters aren't sentient, they're still.
It's
and then I wonder whether because I experienced the thing about maybe 9 months after going vegan, somewhere around there, where my senses started changing. As my gut biome changed and whatever other health aspects changed, the frying flesh started smelling horrible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And so
like 2 months in on
I'm
being
concerned.
vegan.
Only 2 months. Okay.
Know it.
I'm concerned that people, Austro vegans, eating bivalves regularly and having that kind of gut microbiome are not going to experience that sort of sensory transformation, and then there's going to be an increased risk to going back to inflicting cruelty on
like an
highly sentient animals.
An excuse food.
Because your subconscious, your senses are not getting attuned to consuming plant foods.
Well, I think that the parasites, they'll try and talk you into some weird stuff. Like when I was fasting for 120 days, like I was getting cravings for stuff that absolutely disgusts me. Like I would have never acted on it because my brain is telling me, that's disgusting. I can smell a carcass. Yet I would have like stuff pop into my head and I'd be like, where the fuck did that thought come from? Like, what the fuck? Like, you wouldn't believe how powerful these things are at creating thoughts in your head. And it sounds crazy, but then you look it up and there's studies on this. It's a real deal. Like, these things will plant thoughts in your head. It's weird.
Oh yeah. They control your appetite and shit because they'll steal your nutrients from you.
There's a theory too that like schizophrenia is caused by like parasites, like toxoplasmosis. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
like
believe
cat
that's
scratch
real. I've
fever,
read up
literally.
on that.
Yeah, that stuff's kind of sketchy. People can literally start to become, or like it comes out, I guess, starts to manifest. People become schizophrenic after like unknowingly getting scratched by a cat, and they had like, cat poop on their claws, and all of a sudden they have these little parasites in their blood, and it starts to like get into their brain, and they start to have those crazy thoughts. Kind of sketchy.
Have you ever done parasite cleanse? I do them every once in a while.
Yeah, not specifically, no.
I've done 2 or
That's
3. It's a
funny.
little creepy.
Literally within arm's reach.
Yeah. I took a lot of ivermectin during COVID, though. Like, I was up on like, all the treatments. Oh man,
I
got hit by that shit so hard. Did you guys get that shit?
I got COVID 3 times. 3 times.
I had 2.
You got it twice.
Never
Fucking,
had
I
it.
was
One
sick,
I
though.
know.
One of the 3 times, or no, I don't know. I just got sick 3 times during that time. One of the times was really bad. Like I was sitting on my couch crying, but it was only
I thought I was
only
gonna
9
die.
hours. Every time was only 9 hours.
That's it?
Yeah.
You're lucky. I got hit for a week. Like I was sitting shaking. I thought I was gonna fucking die, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking
Well,
that was before my fast. I
in,
was
like,
still
peak
fucking
health
weak
at the
and
time.
vulnerable.
I was at
What?
peak health at the time. Like I was in really good shape when I got sick. So I usually don't get sick very long to begin with, but then I was in really good shape at the time. So I think it was just like an afternoon. I was like by the time my girlfriend got home, like I was okay. And she was like, dude, you were texting me like you're gonna die. And I was like, I was crying on the couch. Like I've never cried during being sick. Like that's crazy. But I was like just sitting there crying for like hours. It was very weird. Like that was the one that I was like, that might have been it. And the other 2 might have just been like colds or something. But like that one was awful. But it didn't take that long.
I'm very anti like aspirin, Tylenol, like anybody, anybody tries to have me take that stuff. I had to take it at one point because like I was so anti it that I was getting splitting headaches and I like the shivering, like almost teeth chattering, sort of like chattering. But yeah, I got to the point where if I didn't take it, I was about to have like a heat stroke. It was that bad.
Oh.
But it only lasted for like 3 days though. And I was taking like all the supplements, all the like ivermectin. I think even like this one fenbendazole at one point. I
haven't had any significant fever in probably 7 or 8 years, other than the very first vaccine.
I just smoked weed all day when I had it. That's all I did.
You got the vaccine, bro?
No, not the vaccine. No, when I thought I had COVID, I just smoked weed all day. I didn't take anything.
Yeah,
I wasn't scared of it at all. Like
my liver's already dealing with my my all natural sleep medication here, and so almost every day, and so I'm inclined never to take over-the-counter medications. Yeah, I don't take any kind of pain relievers.
I hobbled around on with crutches for a year and a half. I messed up my meniscus, and because I didn't want to take anything, and I finally called my dad because I kept re-injuring it. And I finally called my dad, who's a career paramedic, and he was like, "You have to take some naproxen sodium." Mm-hmm. And the second I took it, I would hurt it, and I would be on crutches for 4 months. And then I realized all I needed to do was take one naproxen sodium, and it immediately goes away. And I was like, fuck, because I don't like taking anything ever, but like this was seriously hindering my life. And like naproxen sodium is just Advil. But I only take one. Like they say take two. I don't like taking anything. Like I get a tooth pulled, I had a toothache, they give me Vicodin and I flush them down the toilet. Like I don't like taking anything like that.
Yeah, after
But-
my surgeries, I had my gallbladder removed, and this was this was like less than a year before I went vegan, and and then earlier than that, I injured both my ankles playing volleyball.
Ow,
And
dude.
after my surgeries, I got like a Tylenol with codeine or whatever, and I was
Sleeping
able
for
to like
26 hours and then going and playing volleyball. Of course, you're gonna hurt yourself.
what's that? Oh,
You said
no.
if you sleep for 26 hours and then go
Actually,
play volleyball.
it was in the winter, yeah. But I was teaching in a public school then, so I was forced to get up.
Oh.
So my
You're doing
26-hour sleep schedule couldn't. Yeah, playing with the other teachers. I went up to block, and it was actually the principal who was blocking with me, and we knocked each other off balance, both trying to block. And yeah,
You were a teacher?
I am a teacher. I was a public school teacher. Now I teach for private academies. I'm an
So are you a fellow
English is a
passport
foreign
bro,
language
or what?
teacher in Korea. Yeah.
Oh,
What's
that's
that?
cool.
Are you a fellow passport bro? Is that why you're teaching in Korea, or?
Passport bro? No, I don't really travel the world very much. I've been in Korea mostly since 2007. It's just what I consider my home now. I'm a
Is your wife
linguist.
Korean?
I majored in linguistics.
You have a
Unmarried.
wife that's Korean? Oh, okay, that makes sense.
My exes are mostly Korean, not entirely, but no, I'm an old bachelor, 47-year-old bachelor.
I think the Eastern girls are better. I don't like the Western theme is just not cool. They're taught to hate us. They're taught that we're a bunch of molesters and abusers and call us, with creeps, and it's bad. So I got
Well,
myself.
the powers that be show us that stuff because they want us fighting with them. So it's not all. I mean, there is some of that out there, but we can't let it seem like it's all women because it definitely isn't.
No,
And,
that's right.
You know what the
I can look around my hometown.
The
I'm
media
from a
doesn't
small
divide
town in
us.
the mountains. I can look around and see lots of normal women around here,
I don't disagree with you guys,
and that's California.
Yeah.
but there's still a 56% fail rate. That's like rolling the dice with your future. You know what I mean? You marry an Eastern girl, you have an 80% success rate. That's 4 out of 5. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I mean,
No.
we have an entire country. We have 175 million women here. You'd have to be delusional to think they're all evil. But how do you roll the dice on a 50-50? And they've all been raised in this feminist environment where they were taught that men are evil and that to hate us. And I'm not saying they all hate us, but they've all been raised in the same feminist environment. We're very divided here, and it's not that way everywhere. There's places where people actually like each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That shit's spreading, though. What happens here ends up everywhere else a couple of years later. It's all the CIA, it's all the CIA doing that shit. All the divide and conquer stuff.
They're very successful.
All mad at each other over nothing.
As they crash fucking planes filled with 4 tons of cocaine. fuck the CIA.
Seriously. Fuck all the alphabet. All the alphabet agencies. They all are worthless.
Every 3-letter agency.
Yeah. Well.
Or however many letters you need to spell out corruption. I don't know. I don't remember all that.
I lived in Central America for 6 months a few years back when I was working for you guys know who Luke Radowski is? He's on Tim Pool's show.
We Are Changed, dude. his
Yeah,
platform.
yeah. I ran
Yeah.
We Are Change for like 3 years from Central, or for 3 years, the last year from Central America. And it was pretty dope down there, man. From Nicaragua, a very stigmatized country coming from the US. Very cool country, very cheap.
That's in South America or Central America?
Central. It's
Huh.
above Costa Rica.
I always thought that was over by Africa. What was
No.
the movie Sahara they were talking about?
That's because of the stigmatization of the country. People, when I moved there, people were like, "Don't ISIS live there?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's right next to Costa Rica. Like, what?" Like, and it's been avoided because it's been this conflict country, and Americans have been stigmatized against going there because we had problems with. Reagan allowed Manuel Noriega to sell cocaine via Nicaragua to make money to buy nukes for Iran or something, the Iran-Contra affair.
Mhm.
But there was a secret
not
Contra
nukes,
war.
I think, but
The American
small arms.
the government in Nicaragua was USA sympathetic, but the country revolted against them, and Ronald Reagan funneled money down there and weapons for them, and to have a Contra war for several years. And so, like, it's just not a place Americans go really, but it's like Costa Rica was 30 years ago, like very authentic. You can just go there and live off. Like, I was living super nice down there for $500 a month, working with We Are Change, just hanging out down there. And yeah, it was really interesting leaving the country and living somewhere that long. Like, it made me definitely appreciate capitalism. But it was nice. The people down there are a lot nicer than they are. The people down there are a lot happier with like dirt floors down there. My friends in the Hollywood Hills are like depressed and shit, like. And then my neighbors in Nicaragua with dirt floors are like the nicest, happiest people I've ever seen. It's crazy. They live off of volcanic, vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. Like, the food down there is amazing. I've never
I'm
been
with
so
ya.
like, yeah. But
I married a Filipina, and they're dirt poor over there. They have like 10 people sleeping in my wife's house.
yeah,
Like literally, they're all like laying down on the floor together, and like,
and it's a bunch of like teenage to 20-year-old men, and it's like, dude, why don't you fix your grandma's house? Like, it's crazy. You get off as a gringo going to Nicaragua, the second I'm off the plane, I'm like, oh my God, like, so much shit needs fixing there. Like, they used to have like a coastal rainforest there, and it all got cut down. The Americans cut it all down in the 80s. And they don't know how to rebuild it because, like, they're still barely surviving down there because of poverty so
Jeffrey,
bad.
do they not fix it because of property insecurity? If they fix it up too nice, then somebody might take it away from them.
No, it's not that, because they have a weird kind of socialism there where they tax gringos trying to live there. They tax the shit out of stuff going across the border. They tax imports more than they tax the people. And like, it's like they're still so there's only like a couple cities that there's tourism that actually brings money in. So it's like any money you spend in the city, like he's saying, goes towards like all these people that, like, the people that work there support. I've never, like, I when I moved there, I stayed in this hostel for like a month, and I paid her up front, and she was just blown away. And then the next day she had the hostel painted, and she was like, look, I painted. Like, I've never seen my money go into the economy like that. It was crazy. Like, there's so little money there that, like, the gringos that go down there do like bring a lot of money. And so and you could get like citizenship there for $1,000. Then you're allowed to own a gun, run a business, own property. Like, it's amazing down there. And it's a 5-hour plane ride from here. But yeah, like, you instantly, like, you start, like, you're like, oh, you want to start all these businesses when you go down there, because you go to the store and they only have like 4 vegetables, you know, they're the most beautiful big ones you've ever seen, but you're like, no one's like bought seeds from another country for like more vegetables, and they're just like, what do you mean more vegetables? Because they don't even know more vegetables exist, because they're like in this you know, socialist, strange, heavily propagandized society that's been like at war with the US for 30 years, 40, 50 years. But it's pretty crazy. Like I had to tell people I was Canadian down there because they like don't really like Americans. Because like there's still a lot of people alive from that era, and so they just kind of, you know, you're either Australian or Canadian. I can't do an Australian accent, so I just told people I was Canadian.
Yeah. Isn't the company Blackwater? It's got to be named after somehow starting in Nicaragua or with a connection to it, right? Because it's just the English translation.
Blackwater,
Blackwater, the mercenary company.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Holy shit. Okay, I got an interesting story. So, George Bush Jr., right? George Herbert Walker Bush. Walker, right? So, William Walker, who George Herbert Walker Bush is named after, is a Bush descendant that, after the Civil War, tried to conquer Central America to make a slave-owning state for Americans that were like Southern Americans that still wanted slaves. So the dude literally started an army and marched down there. Like he like conquered Honduras for a little bit and then conquered Nicaragua. And where I was staying was in San Juan del Sur, where he actually like built a fortress. And then Honduras came and killed him. But that's who our old president was named after. That was something I learned down there. I was all, holy shit, like there's a crazy story. One of the raddest books I've ever read was a book called what's it called? Blood of Brothers, and it's about the whole Nicaraguan American conflict, and it's really interesting. And then like being there and reading it and like going to all the places and shit was really fucking crazy. But yeah, Ronald Reagan was not a libertarian. He was a scumbag for sure. Like he was responsible for like 60,000 Nicaraguan deaths. Just like they wanted Nicaragua because they wanted to put in a canal, because it's like the skinniest point in Central America is Nicaragua. So it's like really easy to do a canal to bypass, you know, whatever was just to control, you know, have more control, since, you know, eventually we gave the Panama Canal to the Panamanians. But yeah, so it's just weird. It's like the war didn't even need to happen because they didn't even end up wanting to do the canal. But like, you know, Ronald Reagan was like solely responsible for the crack, you know, the cocaine and crack thing, you know, that happened simply because he allowed them to sell the drugs here, so he could buy, you know, arms for Iran, and then Iran's, you know, one of the boogeymen now, and it's just none of it makes sense. But it's a cool country. If you ever, you can go there for so cheap, and you can sit on the beach and drink margaritas and then watch the sunset like for like no dollars a day. It's fucking crazy, like super crazy place to just go and hang out for a little bit. Really nice people. Could learn Spanish like pretty easily. Do you speak Spanish, Jeremy? You speak Korean then, huh?
I speak Korean and French, okay, and a bit of American Sign Language. And I'm starting to learn Korean Sign Language. It's really cool, you know.
Whoa,
completely different from American Sign Language as Korean is from English, you know.
Wow,
completely different languages. Not even like not like the European Sign Languages have a lot of crossover with American Sign Languages, but Korean Sign Language is completely different.
I dated a Korean orphan once. That's
but you know what?
Crazy story about the orphans. They were just shipping all the girls. All the girls in South Korea were getting shipped off to the U.S. because they didn't want girls.
Yeah.
They're all
around
like,
that age
massive amount. Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up story.
A lot of them in Scandinavia too.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Northern Europe. But
She went back. She found her mom, went back to meet her, and her mom didn't show up to meet her. Just blew her off.
What?
Yeah, it's so
What
fucked
a
up.
bitch.
Yeah.
I've met some of those people going back to Korea that try to find their roots and stuff. And from the
I
U.S.
actually have a brother over, like, you know, Vietnam. My father was over in Vietnam. I guess I have a brother over there I've never met.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
even know the guy's name.
Was he in the
crazy.
military?
But my father was in the military, and he met a girl there and like helped her get a business going, and you know, so
Yeah.
I guess I have a brother over
Like
there.
better there.
Wow.
What?
He decided he wanted to hang out there for a little bit after the war or something.
No, you like during the war he was fucking this girl. When he came back, he ended up getting with my mom, but he sent money. He got a business going. He might have like left the woman, but
Get a
he
side
helped her
family
get a
going.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my mom's resentful about it because she won't
She
hit
is.
me. Dude, it's been 40 years. I understand her anger and animosity, and she could be mad at that girl as she wants. But at the end of the day, if that girl has a brother, I should have the right to meet my brother. And she don't see it that way. She's never given me any information other than what I just told you. You know, but yeah, it is
Well,
what it is. But I'd love to find out someday. It'd be nice.
Bucket list, man. You got to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list. That's for sure. I would love to know, you know.
Woo!
Make some magic happen. Connect the dots.
How would a guy figure something like that out? I mean, she won't even tell me the woman's name. I want to say it was like Sue
Well, you
Lin
know
or
your
something.
dad's name, right?
Well, yeah, of course I know my dad. Oh, yeah. So maybe I should just put a shout out on some of those pages over there and say, hey,
They have
pass
stuff
this
for that.
around for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I hear I have a brother. I don't know the girl's name.
There's got to be a website for people for kids of the war. You know, like there literally has to be some sort of support for connecting people because that had to have happened so many times. Like, there's so many GIs didn't come back from that place. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna stay here. Like, fuck going back to the States. Like, there's got to be.
Blame them. It's better over there. It's like you bringing up fucking South America, how cheap things are and how much happier people are. Dude, I was fucking happier sleeping in a room with 10 people than I am in my fucking big American house with fucking all the amenities I want. You know,
it
like,
was so nice there. I'm anti-socialist, and I stayed in a socialist country because it was so nice. The conditions were so nice at that time because they're, you know, whatever. It's not. I can't even say that it's working right now. But
yeah,
it's just,
Jeffrey, you know,
my
one of the
conditions as a gringo going there were so nice.
Okay.
What's that?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you say, Jeremy?
I'm gonna split both you guys.
With me. This is interesting. One of the things that bothers me, what bothers me the most as a libertarian, one of the things is this idea that a lot of people seem to have kind of the typical anti-libertarian from the left or the right, but also a lot of libertarians that there's this intrinsic connection between you know, support of libertarianism as an economic system and this culture of hyper individualism, hyper consumerism, you know.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about,
self-orientation and whatever, which I don't see at all, and maybe in the early days when I was influenced by Ayn Rand, like as a teenager, but not for a long time. I haven't thought.
Yeah, you're old school. You're old school libertarian. You're like what's it? Classical socialist? Classical socialism? Is that what they call it?
Classical liberalism, yeah.
Classical liberalism.
But nowadays, a lot of Republicans, a lot of Trumpists are throwing around classical liberal.
Okay,
that doesn't make any sense at all. They're not.
I wanted to talk to you, Jeremy, about something specifically. So I'm trying to understand why the whole natural law thing, right? You don't believe in natural laws, right?
I'm not entirely sure what it means in terms of a
Okay.
legal theory.
That's
I know what
that
it means in terms of an ethical theory, like a kindness, and that, and I definitely don't believe in that.
well, that's what I think that with the Society Project group, I think no one really knows what I'm saying when I bring that up. And then I've seen several people bring it up, and it's like okay, so you understand, like, if there were no government, you know, like, and we're all humans living on this plane, people will know, you know, because there are measures that you can take. Whoa, sorry. Like, if conditions are really bad in a group, you know, like, people will, like, mental health will deteriorate. Like, there are measures that we can point at to be like, okay, killing's not good, because when someone kills, it negatively affects the group.
Yeah,
You know,
of course.
when conditions are really bad, certain things are you know, and it's like, you don't need a government there saying, hey, that's bad.
Right.
That's what natural law. That's what a natural
of course.
law.
Badness, moral badness.
Yeah,
moral badness precedes anybody's recognition of the moral badness.
Okay. Yeah.
Through laying down some kind of formal
Correct.
rule or
and so what I keep getting in stuck with even Carson, you know, he's like, no, they don't exist. No way. There's no laws that exist. There's no power that exists without government. You know, and I'm like, how could you not make this connection that there are, you know, like, we do when we see someone get killed, we go, like, that's not because law says we should have to react that way. It's because we naturally react that way. So we naturally know that it's not good to kill, steal, you know, like, do these things that we all know that are common law. That's the basis of common law and the basis of our entire legal system. And the legal system that Carson is doing over there is natural law and common law, but he says it doesn't exist. And I just asked, Jerem doesn't believe it exists, and, you know, like,
I think I'm with
what's
you.
the neckbeard kid on there, the communist kid? He doesn't believe natural
Eric.
laws exist. And I'm just wondering how they don't understand that. And it's like, I get it. Maybe if you're like really deep into this, like, what's authoritarian? No, not what's the not authoritarian, but
like sovereignty, or
what do they all believe in? Utilitarianism. Like, I get it if you're like, all like, oh, I'm really utilitarian, to like just ignore that exists, that natural laws exist. But
I mean,
I don't get why they don't get.
an ethical consequentialist, you know, very close to utilitarian. So
I know, that's why I'm asking you.
I'm not sure why that you think that's incompatible. I mean, the only
that's how it was explained to me by them. They're like, oh, I wouldn't, you know, there has to be, or maybe it has nothing to do with that. Maybe it's just, we were just arguing the state versus not having a state versus not having a state. Because I obviously want to decentralize government, where over there they're centralizing government. So I was, you know, I'm like, why don't we just leave the centralized government out and just, you know, go by common law, natural law, like, don't, you know, it's voluntary. Libertarianism, where you just don't fuck with people, and, you know, and people are armed, and, you know, like.
Yeah, I've heard you articulate that, like, like the best resolution of a conflict is going to be like an immediate response by the people that are local to it and have the most personal. I think in many cases that can work, but I think we do probably differ, because what I envision is an anarcho-capitalist competition of security providers. So I mostly don't see the absence of institutional response to aggression as the solution, but I see the benefit coming from a very high level of economic competition between security providers and and adjudicators.
Yeah,
in-
you
in
agree
place
with
of
me
a-
on
In
that.
place of a geographic monopoly that we call a state.
Yeah,
On
you
on
at
law
least agree with
enforcement
me
and
on that, because I don't feel like anybody's even like been able to grasp that concept over there yet. That the free market might have better solutions than this monolithic government has. Clearly, especially going into the future, especially with the blockchain, especially with all kinds of stuff coming up. It's just kind of funny over there because I guess it's similar to talking to me about new things, I guess. It's just sometimes you just put up walls and you don't want to hear anything new, or you don't try to understand something that's new because you're just like, oh, whatever. Like,
the most important thing to try to get through to people who don't understand how competition for security services or adjudication services could work is the cases where something like that is already happening. A big case is auto insurance. The primary enforcer of good behavior on the roads is not the criminal law. It's the competitive insurance industry and the very economically efficient negotiations that different carriers perform to resolve a dispute between each of their clients. And then the other case that we have, of course, is private arbitration between businesses.
Yeah.
Which is far more efficient than the government courts. That's why they use it. Right.
Could you imagine if police were required to have personal liability insurance by one of these competing insurance companies? We'd have the most polite police service in the world immediately overnight. You think if people cops aren't going to be blasting people left and right when they know they'll get a vacation for a month and a slap on the wrist and maybe even a promotion. Or worst thing, they get fired and they sue for PTSD and win, and because they had to shoot someone. It's crazy, but yeah, competition.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that these problems obviously have their source in monopoly, and people understand that when it comes to the issue of monopoly in other
government
areas.
is monopoly,
but
government is the allowed monopoly.
It's the first corporation, as far as I understand.
Talking about fixing the problems with police, the unaccountability of police and prosecutors, without mentioning the word monopoly. Yeah. It's like, I don't even know. It's like trying to fix a broken bone without talking about bones. I don't know what they're talking about if competition is not part of the picture for solving the fundamental problem at the root of police corruption and abuses.
Yeah.
It's not defund them, it's introduce competition to them.
Yeah. I have these shirts that say "unfuck the police." And people get so bent out of shape about it. On both sides, people don't know how to handle that shirt. It's so funny. They're just like, I've had people come up, I support the police, and people come up, fuck the police. I'm like, well, wouldn't it be better to work something out?
Do you support the man behind the badge?
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to say about the whole common law topic too.
Yeah.
A really big thing in common law that a lot of people, even in the whole sovereign movement, when they're, talking about Wizard El Perro, what he kind of gets into, the stuff that he's getting into. Well, the stuff that's kind of foundational to that, one of the documents is a Magna Carta. It's from the year 1215. And if I remember right, it was King Edward, first or second, whatever. But he was going tyrannical, and some of his loyal men, the people who were under him, they actually threatened to cut his head off if he didn't sign this document. And the document basically stated that we get our rights basically from God or from whatever our natural creator is, but they were more Christian centric, sort of, or Catholic, whatever you want to say. But so they basically declared sovereignty, and that's where that whole idea comes from, is that we have these rights, these inalienable rights ordained from God is the idea. And so basically it's saying that we're all sovereign, we are kings in our own right, and that's where all this stuff's supposed to come from. Like, we're not supposed to have anybody like who has more control or sway than anybody else. You guys are talking about like arbitration. That's what we're supposed to be able to do, is work the problems out if there's, you know, a right that's wronged or whatever you want to say. I sent a couple of links to a couple short ones on the Magna Carta. It's a really interesting topic. It's like 600 pages, the actual document, though, and I think it's all in Latin. So it's a pretty hefty thing to get into.
Yeah, and I believe they base like almost every legal system has been based off of this stuff too. So it was just shocking to have people say that it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, that's where we got, you know, our idea of liberty and everything. Like, a lot of that came from that knowledge that was passed on through generations, and we're literally talking like 500 plus years, you know, before the United
Thousands
States.
of years.
Yeah.
Thousands of years.
Yeah, like this stuff goes way back, and I mean,
Yeah.
there's even, you know, you could get into like the idea of like ancient civilizations and stuff. We don't know how they ran things, but some people speculate that there was a lot more of like a democracy based on merit, maybe, that, you know, the people with the best ideas, they didn't lead in a corrupt way, but they
Were held high.
Yeah, they're held like high esteem because they helped solve the problems.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting, is how a lot of these ancient people's epistemology and ontology played such a role in their ethics in ways that don't even occur to us. The idea of trial by combat, you know, that's rooted in this sense of like karma. People talk about karma today who think that trial by combat is crazy, but it's rooted in that same sort of concept that the universe will reward goodness or rightness, right?
They should bring back duels. If we had duels, people would be fucking respectful. That's for
Mutual
sure.
combat is legal in Chicago.
Really?
The chivalry ages.
Yeah, because there's been so many murders. They've overwhelmed the court system, so they're saying if two people engage each other, then that's on, and the winner doesn't get tried.
Just duke it out.
They have to not use firearms or something like that.
No, they use it's after the fact. They look at it after the fact. Yeah, and they're like, well, these two people, like if it's like two dudes, you know, like if they investigate and they're like, yeah, these guys were drug dealers trying to kill each other, they're like, they don't even charge the other guy because there's too many people killing each other, too many people in the prisons, the court system's completely overwhelmed, so they're just letting them have at it, which I don't have any problem with that. Like,
you know, bureaucracy can only go so far.
Yeah.
We're kind of jammed up in the legal system right now.
So what? As long as it's consensual, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But that's based upon a modern. That's based upon a modern concept that we wouldn't do any good to burden the system with these people, right? That's like it's kind of like an overlap between deontology and utilitarianism that justifies that case. But when the ancients supported trial by combat, they typically thought that the gods or reality would favor the one who had the most just cause to be victorious in this violent struggle.
Not just
that's pretty foreign to our modern mind. Right, exactly. They thought that the strength in that battle was intimately tied to the rightness of the person's claim because of some kind of karma or some anthropomorphic god.
So grizzly bears are always like
the football players to go, thank you, God, you know, for that winning touchdown, right? Yeah. So grizzly bears are more moral than humans, right?
Or like UFC fighters. Thank you, God, for letting me almost kill that guy.
Yeah. Or if you want to get into like the whole trans thing, you know, like the genetic male versus like he was or she was obviously the better person.
Yeah, it's just more morally virtuous to be born male, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking about joining women's boxing.
Get an advantage
all day.
Oh man.
Plan.
people who just sucked at their sports just go and just dominate to like now all of a sudden they're gold, silver and gold winners. If you're getting silver, you might want to consider your training a little bit.
I guess they got a new movie on that called Lady Ballers. I guess it's just hilarious. Any of you guys seen that yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Looks like we got
Hi.
an authority on this subject.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sorry about my last comment on your last video I was on. To Jeffrey.
What was that?
Oh, a little while ago. It was a
Oh yeah.
I kind of
no,
came
I-
out real strong, and my boyfriend had to personally message you and apologize. I'm sorry.
There was a lot happening at one time, and I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah,
that was funny.
I get it.
Heated in comments.
Nope. Yep.
Huh.
I like
guilty
what
on
you're
that,
talking
though.
about right now, so I wanted to join, and I'm just gonna listen right now.
Oh, okay.
What did you like?
I'll
The
chime.
trans
What did you like we were talking
conversation? Or prior?
Everything. Oh no, everything. I'm into it all. I love it all, and I know all about it. So I'm like, yes, I want to listen. I want to be on that one. And everything Jeffrey is repeating or saying, I'm like, yes, I know about that. I love it. It's good. And I don't know your name, but you guys are saying some good stuff too. And I just wanted
Yeah,
to.
why aren't the names up?
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
I
I'm
can't
John.
see them right here.
Yeah, why aren't
Yeah,
the
the
names
names
up?
got
That's
taken off.
weird. I must
not
have
that
some
long ago.
setting. That's strange.
Like I can see them on my boyfriend's phone. He went outside because he's scared that because he's watching you right now. But I got on my own phone and got on, and he's like,
yeah,
"Oh no, I'm gonna go have
oh
a
yeah,
cigarette."
I see him
And
in the chat. That's right. I see him in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yelling
see.
on video. No.
Yeah, I told him to warn you it was me. I was like, tell him it's me.
I'm not mad. So you're,
He's not mad. No, I don't know. He might be real mad. I don't know.
No, I don't remember.
I'm just kidding. He's not mad. He's like, oh my
I
God.
block things out.
Does that have anything to do
But
with the
continue.
highlighted comment?
I
What?
decided to say that,
What's that?
What's up, hard hat?
What is that? Oh no. Am I already getting like
No, that had something. That had something to do with.
the names are up? Okay.
Oh, there they are. Oh, okay. Well, there's a
Yeah.
comment.
I saw the comment. The highlighted comment was like green, and their names are green. So I was wondering if there's something to that.
Yeah, they're up now. I can see all of them now. Okay.
John Bob, your
Please
phone's a little
continue. I'm
loud.
sorry that I interrupted. Please
I
continue.
put you on mute just because your phone's a little loud. When you want to talk, just unmute yourself because your phone, your microphone is feeding back a little bit for some reason. So just unmute
fixing it.
yourself when you talk.
I'm fixing it.
Oh, what were we talking about?
Oh, we were
talking
on
about
common
trans
law.
women and
I
women's
think
sports.
I think we were riffing on like some. We were just
Yeah.
we were riffing.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to point out to you guys that, you know, that personally, as a fairly active person who's interested in sports, kind of recreational sports and a lot of outdoors activity and stuff, a woman being opposed to trans women in women's sports is a really good sign for me that she's fairly active, not like highly sedentary, because I think you just automatically viscerally realize the biological difference when you're regularly involved in lots of physical activity with mixed sexes.
Oh, I get-
and
Okay, I get what you're saying.
and so somebody who's actually capable of believing that there's no significant difference, it just indicates
or like a
to me
girl
that
with a bunch of big brothers.
physical activity is just almost not a part of their life at all. It
Yeah.
it couldn't possibly be to not have
It's
that
like-
realization.
Athletic girl with a bunch of older brothers that's like been rowdy with her brothers. She's like, no, I don't want to. Like, that's not fair. They're way stronger.
How do I unmute myself?
I gotta say this
unmuted.
though.
You're open.
Yeah,
I'm unmuted. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was me. I was that girl, and there is a difference. I will say there is a difference, but you do have a different tolerance to what is happening. Sorry, that was my Charlie Brown tree. You should not have seen that. Oh my God. But there is a big difference in men and women in sports for sure. Even if you grew up with a group of brothers, and you just have like a different tolerance to the type of action that is happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And I even like my girlfriend's really strong and like she's tough. She was like a black belt and like I could still ragdoll her, you know, like she's a strong girl. But I could still ragdoll her pretty easily. Like,
okay. What? Okay, Jeff. I don't know you, but okay, Jeffrey.
See, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of for this shit. And I know that fucking everybody's against it, but fucking it makes sense because we've been raised in a society where we're taught we're all fucking equals. And it's not fucking true. And don't get me wrong, we should treat women as equals. We should treat them good. But at the end of the fucking day, we are physically superior. And the fact that people think men are women and women are men, putting men in women's sports kind of fucking draws that fucking line, shows men are fucking dominant in a lot of fucking ways. And you know, I think it's something that's actually waking up our society and like showing like how fucking delusional people have gotten. I'm all for it. If that's what it takes to throw it out there, like, you know, like it makes sense, don't it?
I think men and women should all just compete together. It should just all be mixed, no classes.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Or we'll have some new sports where like that works out better, you know? Like why do we have to do all these lame sports? I know.
Well, you know,
Jeffrey,
Jeffrey, football, the NFL already has like it's already structured around different positions that require very different body types, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
exactly.
you could imagine
Thank you.
a sport like football being developed where there's positions that sort of
like the men can't
only
run
women
past
could
a
do-
certain point and the women
Something
have to
like
take
that.
over.
Like a woman can't be a linebacker.
Yeah, because if you're born like 5'8",
Like
with a
Triple
very
H,
lean
the
body,
wrestler,
you
linebacker.
can become a wide receiver, but you're never going to be a linebacker, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's the same kind of thing.
Very
You could
rare.
Yeah, you could have a mixed sex NFL sort of situation if you wrote the rules in the right way.
Oh no, but I like that co-ed idea. That has some fucking potential. That'd be a lot
Oh,
of
you're
fun.
talking about fucking potential in co-ed sports. Are you just talking about just that sport?
Every sport, why
Well,
not?
I mean, other co-ed sports, you know, they just kind of they don't have distinct positions in the same way that American
Soccer
football
does.
Yeah, more so, yeah.
Yeah.
More so than
some do.
Volleyball's the easy one.
Fast pitch softball. That is also a sport that you can co-ed, and women can dominate men over both of those sports. It just depends. Like
which one?
Like fast pitch softball or soccer or they're kind of lame sports, I feel like, but yeah, it's go sports. Yeah, I don't know it. Yeah, there's something that they can both compete in, and sometimes women will prevail over men when they're playing co-ed or however you want to call it, whatever. But when it comes to like football, you're not gonna put a woman my size that's like 5'5" and 135 pounds up against a linebacker that's 300 pounds and 6'4". I mean, that doesn't make sense. But like in soccer, when someone might be taller, you might be the same weight, but you know, it's not like a weight class type sport either. So I'm not sure.
Are we talking about like recreational or intramural kind of competitions? Because, you know,
or just playing for fun.
Why? Like, okay, so if we're not necessarily talking about elite competition either.
Right. That's why I was like, I'm done. Go ahead. Sorry. I just got off on what you're talking about.
Where curves, right? Normal curves that are that look very close together if you look at their means. When you go out to the tail, the number of people represented at the tail is going to be vastly higher for the curve that's shifted a little bit to the right. So this is like the explanation, what seems like the right explanation for why men dominate in elite chess and Go and Scrabble. And
okay, I am going to say this, and I'm sorry if women get mad about it, but I am going to have to agree with you about the chess thing. Women are terrible at chess. Men are superior at chess. It is terrible. For me, I know. It's like,
It's weird. There's a
I
couple
can
girls-
play, but when I play against a man, when I play against a man for some reason, I lose every time. And I'm good at it, and I'm not good against a few men I've played recently. And I'm like, what is happening?
Have you played a lot of other females though?
Yes, and I usually beat them every time. Yes, like really fast.
So you're just.
But there's a few men recent, like my boyfriend. I have not yet been able to beat him, and it irritates me. I'm trying, and I cannot. And he puts me in check and checkmate so fast that I'm like, ah. And there's other people I play where it's like 6 moves and you're done. Like I win, you're out. Like I don't know. So.
I was actually under the
I do have to agree on that. That's all I have to say about
it. Huh. I just had a conversation about that yesterday, and somebody told me women win the majority of the time at chess. I saw
some short of some girl, some YouTuber. She like walked up to some New York area where they're all playing, and she went and beat all of them like in one sitting.
No way.
Some young girl. Yeah, like some 20-something-year-old girl.
I was say like how? Okay.
She's like a YouTuber because of it.
The Botez sisters are pretty popular on YouTube. These really hot.
I don't know who they are. I'll have to look it up.
Chess players, yeah.
Okay, I'll look it up. I didn't know that. Okay, that's really good.
They have a lot of videos just dominating some like a random chess hustler in a city park. Or
ooh, like a pool hustler. Pool.
No,
there's another one. Pool.
Assumes that a young woman can't be good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. They're not all great. They're not dead, but they're not great, you know.
I'm actually a retired, mostly retired, top level tournament Scrabble player.
No way. That's dope.
Oh, new words. I love that game. I like word games. Puzzles. Ooh. Yeah. I'm excited.
It starts off as like
I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done.
It's
not being sarcastic though.
With big vocabularies, but then at the elite levels, it's about your memorization technique, and then it's about the mathematical strategy and the positional strategy of the game.
No, sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic. Yeah, no, you're correct actually.
Yeah.
See, I've always been bad with the logical kind of stuff. Anything that's like board games and things that have like rules that you have to pay attention to. I was kind of an ADHD kid that if you're sitting there trying to explain the rules of the game, I'm like, I just want to play, and then I never really learned the rules of it. So chess just completely escapes
me. Is that a little bit better?
Chess is easy to learn.
Yeah, I just have to take the time to really get to know it.
There's only like 4 different characters, or there's like 6 different characters.
No, there's more than 4, but it's more of like a strategy game, I feel like, right? Yeah. Or no?
Yeah. You have to, like mental mapping and everything, planning where things are gonna go.
Yeah, I like strategy. Yeah, it's like a strategy. It's like and memorization too.
Checkers, but way harder.
Say that again. Wait, say that one more time. Checkers, that can be intense if you play a certain way. I don't know.
I assume that you're talking The real checkers is
NorCal playing Connect 4. Connect 4 can get pretty heated too.
What? Oh my God. Have you ever played it in prison? Do you know what kind of Connect 4 no, probably not. I don't know why I have. Don't ask. But they have a life-size Connect 4. It is literally the pieces are this big around, like the circles you drop in. It's like 5-6
Where do
feet
you
tall,
drop-
and I'm like right
they
above
have a
5
big
feet.
one.
So it's really
It's like
cool.
a
Yeah.
toy.
And it becomes like this whole thing, and like you have to like strategize and like you have to think, and like you're like, wait, I'm in prison. Why am I
is.
thinking about freaking Connect 4? But it's like crazy, and then you win honey buns and ramen noodles,
Damn,
and
the female ward of the prison sounds
Yeah.
cool.
Connect 4.
No,
I was just
we're
reading about-
talking. No. Nope, we're talking about Connect 4, not prison. I was just telling you about a cool big ass game that's in prison.
Oh,
We're going back to
oh,
Connect
not
4.
something you experienced. Oh, I
They
thought
have
this
those
was.
in bars too.
Wait, what?
They have those in bars too. They're pretty cool. Giant Connect
big
4 boards. Yeah, fuck yeah. You
Oh, I
don't
never
think
seen
they
that.
have
Oh,
in prisons, do you?
Fort San Luis, they have like a
That's
giant chess
true.
game. I've seen big chess
I
games
don't
out on the-
drink, but you know, and I don't know that. No, I'm totally messing with you. No, I forgot they had those. Last time I saw one was not in a bar though.
Okay, you're good. I'm just giving you a
Only
hard
time I played one, yeah, not in a bar.
I was just reading about how they can't play regular Dungeons and Dragons in prison because of the dice. Because dice are totally forbidden. So they have these like randomization like sheets where they close their eyes or do something and like put the pencil down, and that's how they get their random number generator. Other like really stupid ways that they try to.
Where are you getting this information from? What is
D20.
what is the resource of this information?
Probably some role-playing game subreddit.
Probably a role-playing game. That sounds sexual. I don't know about that. I'm just messing with you.
No,
I'm
he's
sorry.
a
I'm being
gamer.
sarcastic. Okay.
Generation.
Okay.
like Final Fantasy. That sounds.
Which
they can-
one?
they can
1 to 9
overlap,
or 12, 13?
The
I
one
don't know.
and the other can overlap.
What about
Oh,
10?
right.
I
You
feel
can
like
dress
that
up like an
would
orc
be
and an elf if you want to.
9 is a
You
good
can do
one.
both at the same time.
9? Really?
I like 9. 7 and 9 are okay.
You're entitled to your opinion. You're just the only person I've ever
I
heard.
actually like the first one the best. That is my all-time favorite. Is 1.
Okay,
Just
so
Final Fantasy. It wasn't even called 1. It was just Final Fantasy.
okay, so you're talking 1 for the Nintendo, or are you talking 1 Mystic Quest for the Super
That's
Nintendo?
like old school.
Oh, how about a PC?
You guys are so young.
Like
I've never
on
played
the
any
computer.
after 5.
Oh, first Nintendo, and then I started on a
I think
PC.
I played
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 5.
5 is good. Yes, 5 is a good one.
I only went back to 5 because of
I
its
sound
incredibly
so
good
nerd. Okay.
reputation, and skipped 4.
4
You
is
should try
terrible.
two.
4.
I mostly remember Final Fantasy 1. I haven't played any since 5.
You should play 2. You should
You should
definitely
play 8
2.
or 7.
7 I've heard
2's
is better.
good. 2 is good.
2 is
4
so
is terrible.
The
I
same
don't-
numbers and comparing. Like,
They're all pretty
4 is great.
fucking good.
9.
I play 13. I haven't played it. I don't know. Not 13. I played the other ones. I haven't played that. I don't even know if
I
that's
haven't
good
played
enough.
any Zelda games since Majora's Mask.
Wasn't that after Ocarina of Time, or was that before? They were
That's
both
right after.
Super Nintendo.
It was
Yeah,
after.
Majora's
Sorry,
Mask
it was
and
sorry. It
then
was after.
Majora's Mask. Those are right next to each other, yeah, and very similar.
But it was after. Real answer after. I don't know. No, for real, it was after.
You guys play Fallout ever?
I'm as big of a geek as anybody.
I played 3 New Vegas and 4. I didn't play any of the original
What
ones,
about
Allie's a big Fallout nerd, and we just went to like this cosplay event in Good Springs. So you played New Vegas, then you know Good
Nice.
Springs.
Yeah.
We went to the Pioneer Bar, the Pioneer Saloon, and
Oh, that's sweet.
dressed
That's
up
sweet.
like we're what's it, followers of the apocalypse. That's what we dressed up as. And it was pretty funny. Like people were like really excited that went to this event. It was like 1,000 people, but everyone like hiked up to the ridge line above the above the saloon, and like everyone was like so excited. It was funny as shit. People flew in from all over the world to this event. It was crazy.
That's badass.
Yeah, they're doing it every year now. It's gonna be cool. You guys should come out next year.
Oh man,
Be cool.
Okay.
I love Bethesda games, and I play them in foreign languages.
What about
I use
Battlefield?
Fallout and Skyrim
Battlefield,
to practice language.
Do you remember Battlefield? Like
Yeah, Modern Warfare.
on
Warfare 2,
before
back in the day.
laptops were a thing. Like it's like a
That's
it's like
first
a
person
military
shooter, like war
game. It's you just like shoot a bunch of things and blow it up. Do what?
Counter-Strike. Half-Life, Counter-Strike.
Yeah, Counter-Strike's
They're a bunch
pretty
of cool
popular in
games.
Korea,
Yeah.
so I played it a little bit with Korean friends, but I'm not very good.
Oh, by the way, I meant to comment and I couldn't. You're Korea. You speak Korean?
Yeah.
Jeffrey, you do.
Jeremy.
I do.
Jeremy does.
Jeremy.
Jeremy does. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's really cool. I speak Spanish, but that Korean is like that is really
Korean's
cool.
really
I
hard.
think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's
So,
definitely
okay. I'm done.
It's very different.
I'm taking 5. You guys go ahead.
I'm jealous of you guys. I want to be bilingual. I'm working on it though. I got a Filipino wife, so now I'm learning.
Trial by fire.
Spanish is fun. It's fun to learn. It's fun to learn in a Spanish country. That's for sure.
It's easier. If you go down to the Philippines, I have a friend actually named Jeffrey. He actually passed not that long ago, but he went down to the Philippines and he married a Filipino woman and had a child and everything. And he learned Spanish so fast because he could travel to like Colombia and Venezuela. He could travel to very easily everywhere. And I have another friend that went to Costa Rica, same thing. Yeah, no, it's cool. And you learn it really quick down there, right?
In Nicaragua, they were everywhere you go. What happened?
Are you saying like a Filipino citizen, their passports are better, they could travel easier, or what?
No, like you can like it's easier to travel when you're down there from like here to there. You know what I mean? Like you can go to the countries down there easier than you can leave this country and go to other countries once you're in South America.
Oh, I'm not talking South America. I'm talking the East China Sea.
I mean, sorry, other side. I'm thinking of the Spanish, I know.
Yeah, Filipinos.
But still,
like
it's easier to go from place to place once you're there than from here to there, is what I'm kind of slowly getting at, or whatever. I'm taking 5, sorry. You guys continue and I'll just listen.
You're golden.
All good.
Okay.
So here's a random question. We've talked about almost everything tonight. Flat, hollow, or round?
The ultimate question.
Agnostic. No idea yet.
No idea. Good answer. That takes courage to, you know,
flat, hollow, or round.
That came out hard. Oh my God.
You have to
I
know.
thought that since I was 7 years old. I thought that the earth was not a pancake flat, but it is not a ball. We are not a spinning ball spinning millions of miles an hour with the sun flying around. I mean, like we're not flying around the sun, and that's just You were talking about natural law earlier. What is natural, right or wrong?
I was?
Someone was talking about natural law. I think it was Jeremy, and you mentioned something about not knowing what it was.
Oh, that wasn't me. I didn't get in on that conversation. I watched it.
No, Jeremy is part of the
Jeremy,
group that I'm
yes.
in.
Yeah.
Jeremy's
So,
a part of
as
the-
of natural
the group
law,
that I'm
right
in,
and
so you
wrong,
guys don't know what natural law is.
flat Earth or a round spinning ball? What are you on? In the middle of gravity and space. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take 2 more minutes. Go right ahead.
All I
I'm
know
not
for
in this
sure is that
conversation for 2 minutes. Sorry.
all I know is that everything revolves around me.
Solipsism. None of this would exist.
No,
if it wasn't me.
it's a fast spinning ball.
Revolving around you.
Do you have evidence that it's a fast spinny ball, or is it just like the thing you see in
Yes.
first grade, like the globe on a pivot where
Yeah,
it
no, it's
spins?
not
You know,
just that I saw a
holder
globe.
for the ball.
You know,
The
the thing about
globe.
when you have vast statistical convergent evidence, the thing is that
Are
a
we
lot of
about
that
to get into
evidence,
flat Earth? Oh God.
no, a lot of that evidence is like psychological and sociological. A lot of the evidence is that
Oh.
you know, I don't believe that the consensus of so many humans who have investigated things from so many angles and personally witnessed so many things could all be lying or all be so profoundly mistaken.
Oh, so what? Okay,
It's
so take what?
Bayesian reasoning, and it's not one piece of evidence. It's the overwhelming convergent evidence, and a lot of it is what I believe about humans and about how like academia and science works, and about how sort of human social incentives work. You know,
Okay, I'm
really go at it
I'm
in
biting
debate.
my tongue
how
to
much
not
somebody who
speak.
disproved something like that could socially
How are you
benefit, and yet they
misconstruing?
don't.
I'm sorry, but I
You
have to come in on what you're saying. How are you misconstruing that it's not flat? Where's the evidence of it actually spinning and being a ball floating in the middle of nowhere? Where's your evidence? Where's the evidence of that? And there's more evidence of it being flat and there being a firmament than there is of it spinning around at whatever they say it is.
All of the people who have spent their lives studying it and say so is itself.
Oh, wait, what people though? Who are you talking about? NASA?
Among many others.
Among many. Oh, among many. Maybe you should look up NASA and say they're not right. And maybe you should look up Van Gogh and look at his paintings of Starry, Starry Night. And then compare how he can make paintings from back in that age time, which was like crazy, to look like very similar to our sky now, except now we have CGI and we have AI and we have all these technologies that can have a fisheye lens or anything like that. But in perspective, you're seeing everything as round. And when people say, like I was told as a child, because I started thinking about this when I was 7, we'll get back to this. When I know you've heard this, people will say lay on the ground and you'll see the stars spinning around you.
Whoa, they're shutting you down. NASA heard you and is breaking up your audio there.
NASA's hacked StreamYard.
Your audio's breaking up. The authorities are preventing the truth from getting out.
I don't believe you. I think you muted me, and that's okay. That's what they do.
Well, your audio. I did it. I could be.
If you were muted, you would know it. They show you right.
Was I me? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be like angry. I wasn't angry. I don't know. I was just there in the moment. Okay.
It's all good.
Go ahead.
So if you're gonna say Van Gogh,
it's important to understand that
Van Gogh was a painter. You know what I mean? There's no evidence to that. You know what makes me think it's round?
What? He was a painter?
I remember years ago. It was a solar or lunar eclipse where you could see, because the sunlight wasn't on the moon. The Earth was in between the moon and the sun. So the shadow was over it, and you could see the perfect roundness to the moon. Now, if the moon's round, why wouldn't the Earth be round? You know what I mean? And then I thought about that, and scientists are saying the gravitational constant of the universe is off. And they're saying that it doesn't weigh the right amount. And nobody ever figured out centrifugal force as well as centrifugal force. They just assume gravity and that it's one big solid ball. Well, if the Earth is spinning, you guys remember?
Is that what gravity is? One big solid ball?
Well, that's what they're claiming, that gravity made it one big solid ball. That's what we are fucking
That's what they're
taught.
claiming.
Which, let's face it, everybody don't know everything, and I question everything I'm taught. Well, you remember those fucking things on the playground that are like little circle things that would spin and you'd get thrown off?
Oh,
The merry-go-round.
Well, if the Earth is fucking spinning and there's something in the middle, it's got to get pushed out, right? And if gravity's a real thing and something's pulling in, wouldn't that fucking hollow out the fucking the middle? I think the motherfucker's hollow, man. I think it makes sense.
Have you ever? Like,
not
Pearson,
saying-
have you ever heard of like no motion being shown ever? Like, there's no motion if you look up like Nicholson, Pearson, Nicholson Morley. Yeah, I'm thinking about like 5 things about what I want to say to you, but I can't. You should read some of his stuff. There we go.
I don't
know. Oh, so you think we're on a ball?
I don't know. I'm just asking. My opinion is not necessarily a fact, but in my opinion, I think this motherfucker's a hollow ball.
So it's an assumption, which is kind of making an ass out of you and me right now. So let's stop talking about it. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get kicked off. I don't know.
I don't think I'm assuming anything. I'm not sure. I'm just asking what you guys think. I'm just making conversation.
Same here. I'm not 100% sure. I can't give you 100% guarantee on what I'm saying.
It's how popular the topic, Scott, and I just want to see like, real good faith debates start to happen where people are able to like take their evidence on this side, take their evidence on this side, and just see who can make the most compelling argument, who can present the most evidence, like just get to the bottom of it. Because I don't really have, I'm not either side because I don't know enough. So I'm just curious.
There's a lot of different
let me say
theories
this.
these days.
Okay.
That'd be a good debate.
Because this underlies the whole broad question. Appeal to authority is not a fallacy. It's only fallacious when it's used to justify things that are out of proportion to the Bayesian updating that's justified by the nature of the authority. We trust people who have done things, have experience, and have knowledge different from our own. That
who are these people you're talking about again? I got you there. I'm sorry.
Astrophysicists, theoretical physicists, astronauts, pilots.
Trust the maths and the sciences.
World travelers.
Buzz Aldrin.
That guy's a trip from what I've heard.
Yeah, but he's a government employee. I wouldn't believe an astrophysicist. I wouldn't believe a government employee because they could be manipulated easy.
He could be a psyop. We never know.
So could what's his name? Buzz Lightyear. Oh, that's from Toy Story. Sorry, I meant Buzz Aldrin. Oh, that's who you're talking about. Sorry, I was talking about Toy Story. I'm just joking. I'm not fighting. I was talking about it.
If I distrusted the authority of people who have direct knowledge and theoretical knowledge that I don't, then believing that the Earth might be flat would be the least of my problems. I wouldn't be able to trust. Sure. I wouldn't be able to trust that that getting gasoline from the local pump and putting it in a car is a safe thing that's not going to instantly kill me.
What if you didn't need that gasoline though?
I am actually car free, but I do drive other people's cars sometimes in my hometown here when I'm not in Korea. But
Korea,
I
want to be in Korea. Go ahead.
Trusting many kinds of authority of other people in order to update your beliefs on is
Like Caprice?
It's fundamental to rational operation in the world. The demand for sort of personal direct access to every form of evidence is just like such a severe cognitive malfunction that again that the shape of the earth would be the
I'm
least
sorry,
of
I'm
my
not.
problems if I didn't think I could update on other people's justified authority. I do it all the time. You need to do it all the time.
No, I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from.
I'm sitting here. I'm trusting
I
that
don't
Jeffrey knows
have
a lot more
another
about
comment.
Nicaragua than I do, right?
Wait, do what? Say that one more time.
I'm trusting right now that Jeffrey knows a lot about Nicaragua than I do.
Oh, for sure, probably if you've not been there.
And I haven't even scrutinized him, right? I haven't
I wasn't trying to. I was.
I haven't interrogated him. I just trust him.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm taking 15. I'm just gonna listen.
Allie says
Go
Final
ahead.
Fantasy VII is the best.
That's what I heard.
Yes. See, 7 is great. 7, 8 is good. 7 is better than 8. Maybe I'm in the same as both. I don't know. 7's good though. Oh yes, I'm excited about that. Okay, now I'll take 15.
naming a cat.
Some Final Fantasy.
Snake, naming a snake.
Wait, what?
What?
I remember one on like
We both know
PlayStation.
what? Wait, what?
Snake's Revenge.
It's like a RPG, isn't it? Kind of.
You guys ever heard of like Kingdom Hearts? That game is a trip.
Oh,
Yeah, I played
It-
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I've been getting back
Did you-
into them because
Right.
it came out when I was like 5 or 6 or something like that. Like I was a kid when it came out. I had no idea how the story worked, but somehow they made Disney blend with Final Fantasy, and like they created this whole different world where it's like there's like alchemical, like spiritual sort of things going on that no kid is ever gonna pick up
Oh,
on.
that game.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a Tartarian game. That's like looks. Yeah, it's all. It's steampunk, right? It's like a steampunk game.
kind of yeah.
What?
I mean,
Oh, that's Bio. I'm thinking Bioshock.
I was
Never
gonna
mind.
say,
Okay.
yeah. My boyfriend said something. I was thinking kind of. Yeah, you're close.
yeah, Kingdom Hearts. It's weird because there's like a.
It is
kinda
like
gets into,
Disney.
yeah, it kind of gets into like spirituality and like blends different worlds. Like somehow the Kingdom Hearts universe merged with I mean not Kingdom Hearts, the Final Fantasy universe blended with Disney, and like they're all trying to find like the 7 hearts of the princesses, and I guess there's this other side. There's like this organization of like 13 people. When they get like the 7 hearts of the princess, they can make this like key that is like it unlocks Kingdom Hearts, and like darkness takes over or something like that. It's a trip.
Yes. Yeah. No, I got. I remember getting all 7. I beat it, and the like credits and stuff came up.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about?
For Kingdom Hearts, or
Yeah, like at the end of the game, like the game is over, like you've done it, and the credits come up. I got to that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
tough to do.
No, I had a friend help me. It was a guy, actually. There's another sport gaming guys might be better at. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to say yeah on
Gaming
that
is
one.
a
I'll
sport,
give
right?
women chess, but
Jeffrey's
gaming,
face is like, what are you talking about?
Allie's better than me at everything.
What? Jamie is better than me at everything. He is better than me. It makes me want to like, what? Why can't I do it this good? He's right every time. I'm not. What? It's a thing. At least it's the other way around for you, Jeffrey. Allie, I'm happy for you. That's exciting. Rock on, chick. Yeah.
Except pool. I'm better than
It's
her at pool.
it's fucking rad. Yeah.
Wait,
I'm pretty
who's
good
a good
at
pool player?
and probably bowling, but that's about it.
Oh,
Who said
I'll be
that?
quiet. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I like pool too. I'm a pretty good pool player, and I'm
I like
an
pool.
ambidextrous pool player.
Oh, really? That's cool. I grew up at a boys and girls
Which is-
club, and I played pool like for years when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10. I was just playing a ton of pool, so I'm like good at it now. I
learned how to play when
won
I
a
was 7.
pool competition in Cabo San Lucas when I was 12.
Oh man,
Or maybe
yeah.
13. Yeah. I sailed there on a pirate ship.
I mostly played in high school and then got good in my university days, and then stopped playing, and then when I went to Korea, started playing a lot.
I don't know why I'm good at bowling.
It's cool. There might be cooler. I don't know. Is it cool to pee your pants? I don't. Oh, I'm still on the microphone. I'm making a joke because it has nothing to do with what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm listening, but
Jeffrey,
wow.
do you know the
I'm listening now.
form of pocketless billiards?
Billiards,
in
yeah.
Asia? Do you know?
Yeah.
In Asia, there's a 3-ball and 4-ball forms of.
I did know that.
2 red balls in the 4-ball version is 2 red balls, and then the 2 players have either a yellow. One has a white cue ball, one has a yellow cue ball, and in the 4-ball version, the 4-ball version is kind of the easiest, the high scoring version. You just need to contact the 2 red balls, and the key is to try to get them really close to one another so you can run off these like 50 or 100 point turns. But the 3-ball, which is the real version, is a 3 cushion. You have to contact your opponent's cue ball and the target red ball, and you have to hit 3 cushions before your second contact.
Well, the boys and girls club I went to, they also had these small tables with like bumpers all over them, and you had to like shoot angles to get into the holes. Like it was like smaller than a short table. It might have just been like a training tool. Maybe I was like using a training tool, that's why I'm so good at pool. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, billiards, so they have like their own version of it there.
Yeah, you score points by
it's almost like skee ball.
It's very, very difficult to learn to calculate the angles to do.
I think that's
3 cushions and contact both balls.
What do you say, Braxton?
It's pretty amazing watching the pros.
The trickiest part with like any kind of billiards game is like mastering the angles. That's why it's such a like elite sport, is that people have to be like mathematicians to like, if you're getting into the serious stuff. Interesting.
There's an art to that shit.
The balls are larger.
How do I mute myself?
Balls are larger.
The balls are larger in this 3 cushion called tanggu in Korean.
So they like the size of standard cue balls, or are they like even bigger than that?
No, even bigger than that. And so you can put, and usually the cues have like tighter, smaller points, so you can put insane English on those balls.
Crazy. And that's the kind of that's the kind of game you play?
No, I do play. I would never claim to be good at that. I play with some like actual tournament Korean players, and they kick my ass every time. But no, I play 8-ball. I play 9-ball. I play with regular. In Korean, they would call it pocket ball or 8-ball to refer to the Western set of balls. So yeah, I'm pretty decent at 9-ball though.
All right, guys. I wanted to thank you for inviting me, but I'm out.
Thanks. Bye.
Have a good night.
Later, dude.
Peace out.
Well, I think that's like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. We could probably call it a night. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for coming, Braxton, Jeremy.
You guys, really good talking with you guys.
Nice meeting everybody.
Yeah, good to meet you. Good to meet you, Jeremy.
I want to try and like do this every week. So next week, let's try and do it again. All right, guys.
Peace. Last one of the year then.
Peace.
All right, have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you guys too.
Peace.